Hi everybody, this is the Privateer Press Twitch channel, and we are here playing Widower's Wood today, which is live on Kickstarter right now. It's been up for a little while. And we're giving these guys and all of you out there your first look at how the game works. We've got a lot of prototype components. Some of the stuff is final scope, some of the stuff is final visuals, but not everything is. If we come across some sort of weird typo today, we are considering this a playtest. So, I am the game's designer and developer, Will Oz Schoonover. There's too many Wills around here for me to be called Will. So all these guys are going to call me Oz, but you might know me out there as Will. And my guests, so that I don't forget their names, I'll let them introduce themselves.
Well, I have to tell you, first of all, for this still being in a prototype version, everything looks lovely. And
thank you very much.
I know, and I know you're doing more to make it better at the moment.
Yeah,
but it's pretty spectacular. Is that is. While the Kickstarter's still running, guys. Normally when they do Kickstarters, not even anything's done yet, so it's already looking great. I'm Ivan. Hi. Full name Ivan Baron Van Norman. You're welcome to enjoy my face as we play these games. You can find me on Twitter as Hydra_Lord. I often do Twitch streaming on like Geek and Sundry and on my private channels. Yeah, I'm just enjoying to beat up some Gatormen today. That's really all I want to do.
Heck yeah.
Beat up the Gatormen. As Olo, by the way, Croak Hunter, I'm all about playing the Mercs right now, so this is great. Joey?
I'm Joey.
Joey.
Joey Turco. This guy. So, I work for a company called Gamerati, and we do all kinds of stuff, not the least of which is to help Kickstarters do cool things like this. Best job ever, let me tell you. So that's me. I'm playing a guy. His name is Vasquez, the Knot Keeper. I'm the only human. I'm the best human.
Best human on the table. Only human. Best human.
It's semantics.
It's pretty. Yeah. It's pretty,
moving on. Rob.
I'm human-ish.
Human-ish. Human-ish.
It's very easy to be the best human when you are the only human.
That's fine. Just stop.
Right. Sure. Just letting you know. Best human. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Robert James, and I am also a member of the Gamerati. Not as cool as Joey over here, who gets to run everything. I just kind of just show up and do things, roll some dice.
It's more fun than that.
Yeah,
You're a professional dice roller.
Yes,
professional
dice.
dice.
I'm putting that down.
Business card, right there.
You're welcome.
That's going on my business card. Yes, I like it. I will be playing Skarg the Voracious. He is this huge archer, basically just shoot people from across the board,
You are a fan.
kill them dead. So I love it. So I'm so excited.
Thanks for that. Yeah, a few people in our community will really appreciate that.
My name's Matthew Wetzel. I'm friends with these guys, so I get to do cool things sometimes. I am Agata, the pig berserker tank woman, and I get to punch things in the face, and that's what I love to do, so I'm happy.
So for anybody not familiar with Privateer Press, we create a bunch of games that are set in the Iron Kingdoms. And the Iron Kingdoms is a world where fantasy and technology mix, but it's also got a lot of wild to it. So the Undercity, our first Iron Kingdoms adventure board game, happened in tunnels beneath a human city. This game, Widower's Wood, happens in the creepy, swampy forest outside that city. So the heroes of this game are much more monstery, and all the villains are much more monstery.
Yeah, because Undercity had a lot of like the War Machine elements
Yes.
inside of it, and this has a lot more of the Horde elements inside.
So if you're familiar with War Machine or Hordes, these games are kind of just like those two sides of the
same
coin.
rule system,
And
with
it's
a little bit
completely compatible.
Yeah,
So if you get this
With Undercity.
and you really like one of the heroes in Undercity, you can play that hero in this game the exact same way.
That's great, And I, being a cooperative board game, I can see where this can get people really excited about playing Iron Kingdoms, because it has a lot of role-playing elements inside of it. But like you were explaining to us earlier, a lot of the stats, if you're into wargaming and particularly Privateer Press's stuff, a lot of the stats will be familiar.
Yeah, we designed this as a standalone game, but also as an intro product. So if you play this and then you want to play the Iron Kingdoms role-playing game or War Machine or Hordes, you'll know a lot about how dice work and those kind of things already.
That being said, I've already, even just a little bit of playtesting we've done already, and we're going to get into this game, but intro product does not mean that it is simple and not fun. It is actually very fun,
And this is only chapter 1. Every one of the scenarios in the game is a chapter in a campaign, And there are 7 in the core game, and then we put out extras in other products and our No Quarter magazine and stuff. So you guys are playing a modified version of Scenario 1. Because we've got a lot of questions on the Kickstarter of, you're giving me extra stuff, what can I do with it?
Right.
So in this game, this chapter is built without these Swamp Shamblers.
Okay.
So the reserves shows you what villains are going to be coming on the board that you're going to be fighting a lot of.
Right, yeah, and that's the interesting thing that I noticed here too, is because this is a cooperative game, you're playing against the board, and how we're going to do that is during the spawn level, we're actually rolling on a chart to see who spawns, and then depending on where they're at in the map, they'll be on a certain track of where they spawn as well too.
Yeah, so
These numbers.
what I've done, these are passages, yeah. What I've done is I've just taken the 3 out of the 3, 4, 5, 6 that would be Spear Bogtrogs, and I've given it to the Shamblers just to toss the Shamblers in.
Great.
So there's lots, I'm going to write some articles and some rules stuff, but there's a lot of flexibility into what you do with the game, and there may even eventually be other, like, here's a way to change maps and do different scenarios.
Can you talk about the fact that you can like bump up the difficulty with Epic
Yes.
as well too? Because I love
So
that.
every one of the villains in the game has a stat card. Every stat card is a standard side and an epic side. The epic side generally has a slightly better thing, either a new ability or a better stat or something. And the epics are generally the bosses that you're going to fight. Like in this scenario, you're being ambushed by Bogtrogs because there's a misunderstanding in the woods because bad things are happening. And the Bogtrogs are being bossed around. The Bogtrogs are being bossed around by the Gatormen.
Right.
So these 2 Gatormen are standing back, like sending Bogtrogs at you.
Right.
And if you kill enough of the Bogtrog leaders, they lose their patience and they show up to fight you. So if you kill those 2 Gatormen, you win.
God, Gatormen.
They gonna die.
Gatormen are kind of jerks.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
jerks.
just
Maybe
you have
just turn
Bogtrogs
them
go
against
after
them.
us.
Yeah, exactly.
Just too bad because they're like the best minis in here.
Yeah.
They're
They
amazing.
can be
looking.
bad people and great minis.
Oh yeah.
You know.
So
Some
you
of the worst
guys,
people make great minis.
Right.
you guys already introduced yourselves: Olo, Vasquez, Skarg, and Agata.
Right.
You in the story come together because you all have these different reasons for wanting to beat the Gatormen up.
Right.
Your family's being threatened, so you're kind of the guy who brings the party together.
Right.
You, as a Tharn, worship the Devourer Worm, and you sacrifice basically the best prey you can get by eating its heart.
Oh,
So
man,
you have
yes.
decided to join the party because if
hearts.
a guy
Hearts.
this powerful is doing this much bad stuff to the Widow's Wood, he must be a really good sacrifice.
I love it.
Agata is out for revenge because her entire tribe was just wiped out.
Sucks.
And Vasquez is a mysterious druid, so no one really knows why he's here.
Oh,
Basically,
no.
No,
you have no
But-
I know why I'm here, but
Yes.
you don't need to know.
Yes.
It's fine.
You're shady plot point elf character.
So the Circle of Auroras, which is who our druids are, they're the...
Not everybody can be Batman over here.
You know what? I was gonna tell you what though, but you're the healer, right?
He's also the healer, yeah.
Yeah, so
then-
don't make
that's
fun
why
of me
he's
too
here.
much.
Then constantly, since you're kind of our major spellcaster, as we have stream of bog trolls coming after us, I want you to occasionally say when you're eventually going to get hurt and get close to death, wizard needs food.
Oh, totally.
This is
no,
important.
that wasn't you. You gave it away. I was totally already
So-
prepared.
All right, well, I'm glad that so your joke is done. I can cross it off. You have to come up with something better now. See, I'm
Oh,
encouraging
dude, I'm not
you
ready for this.
To make
So
it
I'll give you
better.
guys a rundown of components.
All right.
This is the reserves, villain stat cards, index tokens.
Great.
The map, of course, and there are water spaces on the map, tree spaces on the map, and obstruction spaces. And those have their own rules, and I'll explain those as we go. And remember, this is not final. We're going to do some stuff to make stuff pop out more and all that kind of thing. Then we've got our bank of XP in our treasury because it's a cooperative game, so you share earned experience points.
And we already got some experience.
Each of you, I pretended, even though this is scenario 1, that you got some XP before.
Right.
Because every character comes with 16 ability cards, and those ability cards let you buy new things in between missions with XP. So each of you have spent 10 XP.
You gave us some sweet drops before we
I
got
did.
in. It's awesome.
Also, in addition to what's in your ability deck, there are side quests in the game. There are loot and other things like that you can go for,
Okay.
and anybody can use those. Your character sheet has all your stats, including initiative, and we're setting an initiative order, so you guys are going to play in initiative order. Like I told you guys earlier, these characters have initiatives that are different from the Undercity characters, so they all slot into the party in a certain way. Because Olo is the fastest published character right now at initiative 18,
Yeah.
and Agata's
Really
a
hops to
5 does.
Put it away.
Jokes all day
Put it
long.
away, Joe.
You asked for it.
Already.
You so asked for it.
I did. I encouraged you to make
But if
more
you
jokes.
throw Gardek,
Yeah.
who's the Trollkin like bodyguard in,
Right.
his initiative is lower than Agata's, so she
okay.
wouldn't go last in that circumstance.
Interesting.
You guys also have a deck of feat cards, and each of you should have a hand of 3 feat cards. It's on the table. It's a co-op game, so you don't keep your cards secret. You're going to get to play those cards whenever they say, and each one has 2 abilities to choose from. Some of your other abilities will say you can spend a feat card to do something.
Right, we could do a feat. We have a baked-in feat that
Yes.
we can always use
Yeah,
to
per
burn
character.
to burn a fate card, or we can use what is said on the fate card.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you have your wound tokens. If they're red, they are your health. If you take a damage, it goes to the black side with a little skull face on it.
That's fine.
He's cool.
And then, what you guys were asking right before the stream started, you have this potion that is an alchemical restorative. If your friend gets beat up, he falls down, all of his hearts are on the black side,
Why's it gotta
and
be
he
me?
begins...
Because you're the weakest.
Because you're the squishiest. So, at the beginning of your turn, when you're incapacitated, 2 of your hearts go away.
Permanently?
Temporarily, for the
Okay.
mission. If you ever
Oh, for the
lose
mission,
all
okay.
your hearts, you pass out and you're gone from the table.
Right.
If one of your friends can get to you and pour their potion on you, all the hearts you still have turn red.
Oh,
So you can't
wow.
drink this alchemical restorative yourself because you have ways to heal yourself in your feat deck. But that's you pour it on your friend and rub it in, and then he comes back.
So that's your Phoenix down right there.
A little bit.
You know.
Well, for you, like, I mean...
Rub.
Yeah,
Frog.
right, okay.
Okay, so
My froggy bio.
so we're gonna
A little
start,
different.
and the very first thing you do every round is you draw 1 event card. The event cards count as the clock because you're gonna draw 1 around. So in this one there are 8 event cards. If you guys run out of event cards, you lose because you haven't done whatever you need to do fast enough. And your mission in this one, like I said, you need to beat up these misspeakers that are the leaders of the bog trogs.
Right.
Every time you kill a misspeaker, we put an XP on the clock, and when the 4th misspeaker gets killed, the gators show up because the bog trogs are not doing a good enough job.
Right. So,
So we're
beat up
gonna-
the leaders until the big guys come out.
Yes. We're going to draw an event card.
Right.
So event cards can change the way the game works in small ways, and they all also have a color on them.
Right.
There's red or blue, and that controls the AI and some other stuff. We'll talk more about the AI as we do other things. So this first card, and I did not prearrange it this way, is just ominous silence. Some event cards are environments, like a fog bank will roll in or something else will happen. And an environment card is active until the next environment card gets played. So there's some ominous silence environments that just
we
don't do anything.
Totally succeeded on a spot listen check.
Yes.
And we
Nothing-
saw that ambush coming.
nothing
we have
bad
a
has
single
happened.
round to deal with it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows when it goes silent in the forest, that's bad.
Where's the
Mm-hmm.
birds?
Yeah, I've got a bad feeling about
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
So we're going to go with Olo because you have the highest initiative.
Absolutely.
At the start of a player's turn, and everybody has some dice in front of them, they're going to roll 2 dice. They're going to roll 1 die for the index number, which is the villains,
Right.
and then 1 die for the passage. You pick the colors you want those dice to be because
Black is
I
gonna be
made the game
index.
so that you can do whatever you want with dice.
That's great. I appreciate that. I have been sanctioned to use the black dice as
Yes.
the index if I so choose by the developer.
Uh-huh.
That's wonderful. I'm going to do 2 and 2, which gives me Gobber Pirate, and
Yep.
it's going to be on the 2-track.
So if they're the same number of figures in the reserves, color-wise, you go by the color of the event card. So this is a blue round, so anytime we need to pick between guys that are equal, we pick blue.
Right.
But if we, for example, only had 1 guy over there, we just spawn the one we had.
Right.
And you rolled a 2.
And this is important because when we get to the villain side, who activates could be dependent on their color as well.
Right.
or their name or their
Or
proximity.
the name of the proximity.
So I try to keep it very unpredictable about what bad guy's going to do
Which
what
is
when.
great because a
And
lot
he's
of these
succeeded.
games do not normally there's some arbitrary amount of like, okay, these characters all go in this
Yeah.
order, but you've truly made as much of a random system as you can without getting so crunchy that it's impossible.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you spawned your bad guy.
Spawn my bad guy.
Start of your turn is always spawning bad guy.
Right.
Now you do your hero activation.
Well, and our little playthrough, I was going to go for side questings, but now there's a swamp goblin.
Now there's a
there.
swamp goblin in the
So I don't know if I'm feeling that sassy yet.
So I'll explain how movement works and how some of the line of sight stuff works because
Yes.
some people out there may have played Undercity and they'll notice that there's no walls on this board. Undercity is tunnels underground, so it's mostly walls. And I've made all this with Undercity pieces. So these are walls. In the forest, there are no walls. So we have corners and sides that are either open or closed. So for movement, rocks are closed all the way around.
Right.
So that means you can't go diagonally past a rock.
'cause
You have to go around the rock.
Right.
For movement and line of sight, tree corners work that way, but tree sides don't. So you can see into trees and walk into trees, but you can't do corners. For movement, water corners are closed, and they are rough terrain, unless you're amphibious like the frog or everything on the bad guy side. Woo. And so if you're shooting something, you don't have to care about the water for any kind of line of sight visually, but when you're moving, you do. So if you would like to, once again, run up there toward that side quest, you can do that, or you can do something else.
It's rough because I'm first in combat.
You're pretty squishy.
And I'm squishy, but I really liked being in the. Being a frog, I can get in and out of the puddles easily enough, and I'll probably get a cover bonus.
That's
You
right,
will.
because you are
Amphibious things both ignore water for movement and gain a cover bonus, which cover in the game means +2 defense,
Right.
if they're in water. So yes, you can hop in that puddle and hide.
What's the worst that
You
could
could
happen?
also hop in this.
Well,
puddle.
I'm thinking
Yes.
about that puddle too, because there's a little less dealing with it over
Do
there.
you
but
do you
there's also
happen to
side
have
quests.
a hoof it card in your feet?
And which one?
A hoof it.
A hoof it? I could move 2 spaces instead of 1 if
Okay.
I wanted to. Burn it.
So your weapon range is 2. So normally, movement options
there you go.
are holding still,
Yeah.
walking 1 space, or charging 2 spaces. You
Okay.
can't make a range attack if you charge. But hoof it allows you to walk 2 spaces and
Right.
still make a range attack.
So I hear what you're saying, and I think I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna
Okay.
burn a feat card
Yep.
using hoof it.
but
all
just
right?
put it by your pile, because
My
that's
discard.
your discard
It's
pile.
way more dramatic.
It was
to
gonna
say
say
I
that.
know, I know. Just take
I'm
it back
gonna-
after.
I'm
You
gonna
can be
burn-
dramatic all day long.
I'm gonna burn my hoof it so that I can go 1, 2 as my standard move action, which puts me into. I'm gonna call this Froggy Central.
Sure.
Okay. Now I still have an action left, which means
still
I
have
can
an
do an
action.
attack. And I think under my circumstances, one of the loot that Oz gave me is normally I have a dagger, which is just good for stabbies, or I could throw a gourd bomb, which isn't as powerful, but it has a bunch of cool abilities that I can do with it. But one of my gear that you gave me was a dagger thrower, which means I could take my more powerful dagger and use it as a throw attack.
Well, but when you
Yes.
make your attack action, you can attack with all your ranged weapons or all your melee weapons. So you can throw your gourd and your dagger. And your
hey.
problem right now is your dagger is only range 1.
Which is fine because that little
But
it's closed,
but it's
man.
closed.
Tree. This is a tree, and there will be icons on the final version of the map. That's a tree, so that corner's closed, so you can't diagonally through that. But your gourd is range 2, so
Yeah, I
1,
could do
2,
that.
you can still reach
So
that guy.
in a weird way, if I make my first round, first turn mulligan, if I
Sure.
went to the puddle just south of me,
Oh, okay.
This puddle,
yeah, then I
that's
could,
rocks with a closed corner.
that'll
It's
also
still
be close
yeah.
corner.
You could
So
come
we
over
could-
here
So
and
you could
Yeah, but I
come
would
up
be
here.
closer to the side quest.
You could come-
That's
yes.
true.
and I
That's
wouldn't
true.
be in dagger throwing range. So I'm going to stick with there, and I'll just do my gourd,
Okay.
and I'll just
Okay.
I'll pretty much be right behind you, like healing you. So
solid.
yeah. So I don't want you to like worry too much about your squishiness.
All right, so I've got.
You're more squishy than he is.
I've got-
True, but I can stay back, heal him. These guys can take care of themselves. They're
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
your LOI.
you guys are fine.
Yeah.
But I've got your LOI that the knot keeper's going to back up the Olo, right?
Sure.
All right, done. All right, then let's throw a bomb.
That sounds really trustworthy.
So
I use a lot of
everybody,
acronyms there.
everybody has a choice ability and that feat ability we talked about earlier. Olo's choice ability is what kind of stuff is in the gourd he's throwing.
Right. And so I can either, with a flare, I can make the ranged players get a better attack against them, anyone in that space. I could glue, which means once they move into the space, their movement's done. Or I could stinker, which means that potentially they could scatter and I could move them where
Yes.
I wish.
So-
I think I'm going to go with the stinker.
Okay.
Because I could potentially push him away from me, making my life a little easier.
Yeah.
And flare doesn't really help in this situation, and nor does glue.
Not at the moment.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw a stinker.
But there's a tiny difference in flare.
Oh, okay.
Because flare's an AoE. Area effect
That's right.
weapons
You're right.
don't have to roll to hit. They automatically hit and you roll damage. And that Gobber's defense is 14.
It's pretty
So
high defense.
your glue
Oh,
or
his
your
armor's
stinker
11.
will still go off in that space, but you might not get a damage roll against that guy if you don't hit him.
Noted.
Your AoE automatically
So
hits.
AoE auto hits, so let's burn a flare on a high defense
Okay.
character like this.
So this is your flare token.
Right, so boom.
So your flare's in that space because that's the space you targeted.
And I'm going to combine my accuracy with my 2d6,
Yep, 2d6 plus accuracy.
which is a solid, well, actually,
Oh
because
wait,
you said
sorry,
auto
you
hits.
said flare.
Auto hits.
Auto hits, yeah.
So now I'm just gonna roll
you
damage.
automatically hit. So now you're rolling power versus armor.
Right, which is
And his armor's only 11.
so
Yeah, so you need a
5
5 on the dice.
5 and a
There
5
you
on
go.
the
That's
dice.
a 7.
Yeah, very nice.
So 7 will hit it for with my POW 5. Great. So it's going to do 1 damage to it,
Yes.
And I only
So-
have vitality one.
One
So
vitality 1.
if you've played War Machine or Hordes or the Iron Kingdoms RPG, the damage in this game works differently. We have normal damage and we have super damage. The
Right.
reason I'm holding up these fingers is because normal damage is 1 and super damage is 2. You can never take more damage generally from 1 hit than 2 damage.
Right.
If you beat something's armor by 5, it is super damage. It is 2.
Great.
So that matters because epic Swamp Gobber pirates
Have
have
two
vitality too. So right now you're fighting regular Swamp Goblin pirates, and he only has Vitality 1.
Good.
If you do a damage to him, he dies.
You just came on the board, and now I take you off the board.
When
really
you
wants that side
damage a
quest.
bad guy,
Yeah.
all the damage you do to that bad guy that he can take, so if you did super damage to a 1 Vitality guy, it would be 1 damage.
Right.
That turns into XP for the party.
Great.
And at the end of the chapter, you divide evenly rounded up. So you guys are all going to get 1 XP at least.
Great. Awesome.
Yay.
Well, all I have
Thanks,
to say is that Gobber Pirate didn't know what hit him. It just flared up.
Totally through a
And
burning
thank
gourd.
you for, and Gordy times.
Yeah.
I have to assume that volatile explosives inside of a gourd are probably very misleading. It's like,
Yeah.
oh look, it's probably a tasty sweet treat. No, boom.
Yeah.
Yay.
Who's throwing pumpkins?
surprise.
Damn.
Is it Halloween?
So you have spawned a villain.
I
You
did.
have activated your hero.
Yes.
The end of your hero activation, you draw 1 feat card.
I draw my feet
If you ever have more than 3, you discard down to 3. So you spent 1, so you
it's in
don't
my
have to discard.
it's in my favor to try to use a feat every turn. If
Or
I can.
just to get another one to make choices. But yes, you're always going to have to discard down to 3, so you're going to waste 1 if you don't use it during your turn.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're not limited by how many feat cards you play, so you might play, like, Vasquez has an ability called Wild Talent, which lets him re-roll dice with his feat cards
was on my
on
board.
magic attacks.
could just burn.
So he could just say, well, that re-roll didn't work, I'll re-roll again, now I'm out of feat
But I
cards.
can only play 1 feat card a turn.
No, you can play any
no,
number of
yeah.
feat cards as long as they're applicable.
Huh, great.
And
So,
I can play
but-
my wild talent multiple times.
Yes.
Yeah.
But your hoof it, you couldn't play 2 hoof its because
No.
hoof it says move 2 instead of 1.
Right, okay.
It's limited. So feat cards limit themselves.
Yeah.
There's no rule to limit feat cards. And at the end of your turn as a player, we draw you a villain action card.
Reactivate my bad guys.
So every player turn, some amount of bad guys, but generally between 1 and 4, are going to activate.
Great.
So we drew Cold-Blooded.
Okay.
Cold-Blooded says activate up to 4 blue villains.
Okay.
So it does not say proximity, and it doesn't say what name they have,
Okay.
but it does say what color they have.
So I have to
So
pick
they're
any
blue, so
blues.
we can't activate red guys.
Okay.
And we activate them in the number of their index tokens.
Okay, fair enough.
So Misspeaker's going to go because he's number 1.
All right.
Then if you would not have killed the Gobber, he would go.
Right.
And then the 1 Shambler on the board that's blue is going to go, and then the Spear Bog Trogs are
So
going to go.
that blue misspeaker that's next to me is probably going to go along his AI track, or what
Yep.
did you refer to him
These
as?
are tactic icons.
Tactic icons.
So every
Okay.
villain's stat card has his tactic icons.
Right.
So the AI is who does something and then what do they do.
Right.
So they follow it left to right and do the first one they can.
So what is a misspeaker?
His very first thing is melee attack. That means hit something in his space with a melee attack.
Okay.
There's no hero in his space.
Okay.
So then he moves on to the next one, which is ranged attack. And that says if his range of 2 will allow him to walk and make attack against somebody, he'll do that. So he is 1, 2, 3 away from you. So he's going to do that and then not do the other things on his card.
Right, because he's going to activate his second highest favorite thing
Yeah.
to do, which
So
is shoot me.
he steps into there, and he's amphibious, so he can cut that corner. You guys,
Yep.
you guys that are non-amphibious can't unless you're ignoring rough terrain. And then he's going to shoot at Olo. Now Olo's defense is base 13, and he has cover because he's amphibious in water.
15.
So he's a 15. When you get attacked, the player to your left rolls dice for that attack.
Okay.
So Vasquez over here is going to roll dice. The
as low as I
Misspeaker,
can, man.
the Misspeaker has a bunch of keywords.
Yeah.
One of his keywords is just Bog Trog. That means he counts as Bog Trog. But one of his other ones is Virtuoso. And a Virtuoso rolls 3 dice and drops the low
Right.
when he makes attack and damage rolls.
He's an alpha dog.
So he's got some good magic juju that lets him
It
hit
is
you
pretty
easier.
good.
That's pretty sweet.
So his accuracy on his Venom spell is a 5.
Okay.
And you're a 15, so he has to roll 10 on 3 dice and drop the low.
All right, 10 up, 10 low.
Oh Lord.
And that's a 10. So you got hit. He has a special ability called Miasma
Right.
that says when you get hit by his attack, you have a corrosion continuous effect token you put on your card. You cannot be healed
Right.
while you're corroded.
Okay.
And there's ways to get rid of that, including Vasquez's cards that just get rid of it
I
for
would
you.
like to blame this on how shallow my pond is at the moment.
Oh yeah.
It was not.
It was definitely that.
The funnest thing to blame is the person who rolled the
Dude,
dice.
Exactly.
Dude,
And I was gonna say, I like how you designed it so the other teammates roll
Yeah,
damage,
yeah.
attacks and damage, so that way you keep the animosity high.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he said in the Periscope that we were going to beat each other up, and I didn't correct him because we are going to beat each other up.
Yeah.
We're not
fair.
fighting against
Just
each
did it.
other, but
Just
we still
started
do
it.
that. So the other trick to this guy is he's got spray. And spray
Right.
says when he makes range attacks, you compare his roll to everything in the space.
Got it.
And normally you can't target something with a ranged attack in the same space as a friend, but AoEs and sprays ignore
sprays
that.
can.
So if there was another bog trog in there, he would have
He'd be-
just
Oh, he
sprayed
hates
that bog
allies, too.
trog.
He'd be,
Alright.
he'd be dealing
But
with it
if
as well.
if that was this space, all three of you guys would
So
maybe
screwed.
get hit by that.
So
So he has a giant spray of acid that he shoots out of his hand, and it could hit all kinds of things. So now he's going to make a damage roll,
Right.
which is 3 dice
Which
because of
is not
Virtuoso
going to succeed.
drop, and his power on Venom is 9.
Isn't
Oh, that's gonna
What?
succeed. I hate to break it to
You
you,
could
dude.
roll all ones. It could happen.
that- just go
Wow.
ahead.
Wait,
Yeah, I
wait,
could.
Nice face.
You
Just let-
could.
just let,
You
let it
jinxed
be.
me already.
So we dropped the low. So 19
I'm just gonna flip this
is
over now.
19 is 5 over your armor of 13.
Oh, double damage.
So you take double damage.
This is such a great start. Thanks, Joe.
And remember, you can't be healed while you're
So I'm
corroded.
gonna go order pizza probably here in like 5 minutes. Just go get lunch.
You
Just let me
remember,
dead.
you're the one that ran out there ahead of the team.
I got your back. All of you.
Keep in mind. So
Hold on,
now
we
we
still
go
have a whole
on.
bunch
Oz,
more
what,
dudes.
What Oz didn't mention is that this was based on his suggestion.
Oh yeah,
when
sure.
we did this
You don't have to
earlier.
do what I
That's
say.
fair. No,
I just
cool.
made the game. I don't control how you use it. So we're gonna go now to the Swamp Shambler, who's the next guy in order, who's also blue. Swamp Shamblers have the same melee tactic.
Yes.
Then they have a rush tactic that says they want to charge 2 spaces, up to 2 spaces, and make a melee attack against something in that space. But forests prevent you from moving into and out of them in the same space. That's what the rough terrain rule is.
Right.
If you enter rough terrain, you have to stop and you can't charge out of it. So he's just going to ignore that one because if he could get to you guys, he would.
If there's a nice open
Yeah.
space, he'd do it.
His
and
third
stab.
one is called Pursuit, and that just says move toward the closest hero.
So it's essentially the
So
same thing.
he's going to walk into that space. And
Right.
Pursuit has a difference between charging and walking depending on distance from hero.
Sure.
But this close, he's just going to walk. So he steps into the woods, and now he has cover.
I know someone who's gonna get shot.
Now we have 2 more guys.
Not
And
Yeah, we have 2
it's
more guys.
These same.
So we're on to Spear Bog Trogs. If there are equal things on the board that have to happen, the active player chooses.
Okay.
So if, for example, both these guys could charge you, you could pick the order they charged you in.
Okay, that's great. You
Yeah.
choose between being speared and then being speared.
Yes.
a
I can
second
choose
time.
which way I want to be speared.
Yeah, yeah. But this guy up here, we're going to activate him because
'cause he's not as
he's not
close.
going to do anything.
Yeah, he's not
So
gonna-
if these trees weren't here, he'd be 2 spaces away, so he would follow that same rush tactic and attack you, but he can't.
right.
So he's just going to walk into the space with his buddy.
I have a feeling I'm going to be getting out. Actually, no, I could probably get. Okay, I got. I know. The
Cool?
key. Yeah, good.
So this guy, though,
I'm going to eat it.
moving
from
2 spaces
Yeah.
lets him charge into that space
I'm
with you.
so going to eat.
And cover only works against range attacks, not melee attacks.
Right.
So he doesn't have Virtuoso or anything, so he's just 2 dice.
You're not rolling.
He's rolling. So one good thing about Spear Bog Trogs, because the common villains, the ones that appear a lot of times, they're not so great.
Yeah.
His accuracy is only 4.
Pound 9, bro.
But it's still about pound.
But if he
9.
hits, he'll do better.
He'll hit like a
It's a
truck.
very, very, very sharp, sticky spear.
Uh-huh.
So what do we got?
But you're very bad at wielding it.
So
Good.
he needs a 9 with a
versus- still
4
versus
versus
his
13.
13, not
Now-
a 15, because I'm not in cover.
You're not in cover
Because
only
melee.
Only
'cause
because
range
they're
is
both
for
Melee.
cover.
Yeah,
Now,
so he hopped in the puddle with me.
If he was not amphibious, and he is, does he get that cover bonus?
No, you can only hide in the water if you're amphibious. Standing in water if you're a big scary dude doesn't help.
No, but what I mean is if the cover is negated because they're both amphibious?
No,
No,
cover's
no.
negated because cover is for deaf in ranged attacks,
Got it.
not melee.
And you don't get cover when someone's running at you with a spear.
Okay,
You know.
so just roll low. There you go.
Done.
So that guy totally
Easy
whiffed.
peasy.
It's about time you get into the game.
And that is our 4 blue
Can't you just
villains.
be happy for
We've
me?
activated.
Hey, we're
All right.
trying to work together, not against.
So on average, 4 is the highest.
Okay.
So this
we got that
deck,
out of our system.
this
Right.
deck's average because you build the deck per the numbers listed on the cards. The average this deck will activate per player turn is 2 bad guys.
Okay, so we
So that was a high
we dealt with the
activation.
rough rounds, is what you're saying.
But there are other 4s in that deck.
Okay,
Yeah.
so knowing our luck, another one will be another 4 activate, and then
Right
Olo-
away.
Quite possibly.
Right, you know,
Quite possibly.
Olo's
You'll be
gonna
fine.
be like, I'm avenging you, but really I'm dying.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know, I'm gonna join you in Froggy Heaven.
So we're going to go to the next initiative down,
Okay.
which we're
That's
conveniently
this guy.
setting in order. So that's Vasquez, spawn a bad guy. And our villain is
fiver
a
on
spear.
the 4, and that's
And we grab a blue one because the card is blue.
5 around the
We
4.
put him on the
Oh,
4.
the 4's way over here.
Yep, that's the 4.
He's coming out
You guys
to
are
the
surrounded.
Sweet. Well, yeah, but he's not going to be showing up for a while.
No, he can walk through water, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
you're
all
right.
water here.
Oh, that's all
water.
just water. I thought
Yeah.
this was a tree. Okay.
Look at all, there's plenty of puddles. We're in the bogs.
Just
Yeah.
trying to figure out the
Because
difference
they're-
between waters and trees.
We're in the bogs because there's bog trolls. And-
Bog trogs
Bog
with a
trogs.
G.
Trogs.
There are trolls in the setting, but they're not fish
healing,
people.
and
They're not
being-
fish people.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
being rip people apart.
So
man.
you, as your choice ability, can choose to spend your action to do a spell. And one of your spells is heal your friends, and one of your spells is razor wind.
Right, but it's in my space, and so I would have to,
get in the heat with me.
yeah.
You'd have to run up there
I'd have to do
and
that.
ignore rough terrain to run up there.
Yeah, which I can't.
Which do you
Oh,
have?
no, I could,
So
actually.
you have a wings of air, which would let you walk and then place yourself one
Bro.
space.
I don't think here's the deal. I know and I appreciate you being the paladin of this kind of
Monstery party with no
monstery
power.
party with me going in there being like, I've got this, guys, and get punched in the face. But no, take an opportunity to do as much damage because we have to knock out these misspeakers.
4 misspeakers.
4 misspeakers, and you have one right there that's ready for you.
So I could try to kill it, is what you're hoping I
You
would
could
need.
if you killed one thing of the 3 things that are going to go after me in this next round, that will be just as good as healing, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know.
I will move. 1.
Yeah.
I will spend my feet to cleanse that continuous effect token off
That
of
would
you.
be lovely.
I do have a card for that.
Okay.
So that's definitely something I need to do. Next up is going to be, I guess, Razor Wind.
Okay,
Razor
so
wind.
you have a spell that's a ranged attack.
Yep.
It has accuracy 5 and range 2, so you could shoot into this space or into that space.
And I
You want to
will-
go after the misspeaker.
right?
right?
You do know that the Misspeaker needs 2 hit points to die.
But
You
every
can hit him
point
really
counts,
hard.
you
Okay.
know?
And every hit
and here's
point
the
turns
deal.
into 1 XP.
His defense is only 11.
That's true, every
at
hit.
the moment.
But he's in the water.
Now,
So it's
this is
13.
when
But
you,
that's still going to be better than the bog trogs, which
Well-
are the bog trogs have a defense 11. Too.
So he can't shoot this guy because you can't make ranged attacks against targets in spaces with friendly characters.
friendly characters.
Oh.
Okay.
Unless
Well,
you
that's
have
interesting.
something
Okay.
ignores that like sniper.
I could do that.
Yeah.
So it's worth it for the Misspeaker even if you just get 1 hit point on him.
All right. We'll
So
go after the
that
Misspeaker.
Misspeaker,
That's
he's
the
a-
way we're going. He's a 13.
He's a 13.
This is where you
I
want
have
to roll
an
high.
accuracy of 5, so I need an 8.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
But your wild talent lets you reroll dice with magic. So you're going to need to reroll dice.
Now, when I do that, do I need to reroll both?
It says reroll any number. So you spend 1 feat card, and you can keep the 4 and reroll the 1, or you can reroll
So
both.
you want a 50% shot of just re-rolling that sucker?
Yeah, you have a 50-50 shot of this making you succeed.
Pressure's on.
That's
Oh.
that's casino odds, dude. That's like better than casino odds.
So roll just
If
this one.
If you
Okay.
if you would have read your feat cards, or if I would have read them to you, because I'm doing a demo right now, you could have played Elemental Mastery, which would before your rolls, which would give you a +1 to both your attack and damage rolls. So you would have only needed a 7.
I would have then lost all of my cards, though.
You would have then burned through all your cards. Yeah.
So let's just try it.
You can get it.
8.
1 1 1 1 1 1.
Okay. So you hit him. So damage roll now. Power of 7.
7 versus his
Armor
13.
of 13.
So I gotta hit 6.
No, you need to get a 7 because you got to beat his armor.
I gotta beat his armor, so I
Yes.
need a 7. Average die roll.
Yeah.
What
totally
could possibly
possible.
go wrong?
Never say that.
That could go
And
wrong.
you can always spend another feat card to reroll because it's magic. No, you might want to keep your 3. You rolled a 3 and a 2.
No.
You want to go for average again?
Yeah.
And roll even lower?
No, there's no. That's not.
It's just what's going to happen.
No. I'm not gonna roll lower than a 5.
he says, as he rolls a 5.
I told you I wouldn't.
Okay, didn't roll lower.
All right.
So you're out of feat cards. Now, it's important to remember that everyone has a second wind. Your second wind refills your hand when something happens in the game.
And that's once
So
per game.
at the end of a turn in which you did not use any feat cards, you get to draw 3.
Okay.
So next turn, you won't have any feat cards. Well, you will have 1
will
because
have
you'll always
1.
get to draw 1. You
Right.
can choose not to spend any and you'll get a bunch. You get your second win when you murder someone in melee.
Yes.
Because you eat their heart and you get all powerful.
Right.
I like that your motivation for joining this party is hearts.
Yours
My
is
only
if you
motivation.
end a turn in a clump of guys because you want to get in there and mix it up. So these things also push your character toward being who your
Right.
character is.
Okay, Tharn,
Yeah.
save us. Come.
So
help us.
you've
Well,
drawn your feat
I
card.
draw my feat card,
Now
but now
we
we
draw
gotta do
your
the
villain
villains,
action
though,
card.
so we gotta see what
And
happens.
this villain action card is called Creeping Mist. It says activate a Mist Speaker. There's only one on the board, so we activate that Mist Speaker.
Of course.
He now has 2 targets because 1, 2, and 1, 2.
Oh, goody.
Great. Our 2 weakest characters. Yay.
The bottom of this card says player to the active player's right. That's how you break ties for bad guy activations. Well, you're the active player. So we would go to your right to the first person that's one of the people in the tie, which is Olo. But you do have the benefit of maybe he'll fry his friend with his acid attack too.
Sweet. Let's do it.
So
Let's fry together.
Yeah, whoop
you're to Olo's left. You're going to roll 3 dice and drop the low again. And we're going to compare that roll to both.
This
of
is where you
them.
want to roll low.
Well,
Yeah, I
One-
know.
Yeah.
You need
I
to get-
can't. He's not making it easy.
You know,
So drop
Okay.
the low.
Ooh,
that
wasn't
is
terrible.
6
6
plus
of my-
5.
Okay, so
So
11.
11, which is
It's not enough
So
to
he
hit.
whiffed.
Not enough to hit either of those guys in that water space.
Okay, but this is only one attack for.
Well,
Because
the
since it-
spray
since it was a spray.
Yeah.
applies to
Yep.
one roll applies to everybody.
That's the
AOE's
hit.
auto hit, and you make a damage roll for each guy.
Right.
So there's various ways that things can target everything. and
Spray's only
damage
going to
everything.
hit. It's going to hit everybody or nobody. You know.
Right,
and
got
then
it.
you roll damage.
Yeah.
Got it.
So no damage roll because both those missed. And then that was the Mist Speaker's activation. So that was that one card. So we had a 4 and then we had a 1.
Great.
So you've drawn your feat card. Your turn is over. You're going to roll a black die and a white die, and we're just going to see what spawns.
yay.
You got this. So, more dudes.
So a 1, the other Mist Speaker,
Oh,
to the
fantastic.
2,
We need 'em.
up here.
Oh no.
Oh, yay! I love
Now,
it.
the rules for this scenario say that if there isn't a misspeaker on the table at the beginning of the round, you spawn one. Because you're trying to kill misspeakers, so I don't want to be like, you didn't spawn a misspeaker for 3 hours. So all the scenarios that have specific goals, you usually do something in case random dice don't help you
play
out.
with
Got
you.
it.
Yeah.
They don't play well.
But you guys now have 2 of your 4 targets
That
on the table.
changes
That's
my
wonderful,
plans.
and a lot of other guys.
But
So-
there are a finite number of them. We have to kill one before we can get a third on
Yes,
the table.
you do. And if you ever roll a spawn for a guy that there are no figures for, you activate that guy.
Oh.
nice.
So, the next time we roll a 1, a misspeaker does something instead of.
which is
That's actually helpful because
Yeah.
no, that is actually a good thing because then he gets closer into the kill zone.
Well, possibly. He's a misspeaker. He does his own thing. And that's another
True.
part of
Hopefully.
the adding things from the Kickstarter is we're going to give you more things, more spear bog trogs, more tassel worms. And one of the ways that kind of plays with the difficulty, adding more figures means there's more things that can attack you, but it also means that when you spawn, you are less likely to not be able to spawn a thing and have that thing activate. So it plays around with the difficulty. But there's no real limit. The limits printed in the scenarios are basically how many figures are in the box.
Right.
So if you have more figures, you can generally add more of that
so you
figure
can
or
have-
play around with
you
the
can
figures.
get more figures.
Yeah.
And hence increase your difficulty and hence increasing your fun.
And since the game is designed to also be compatible with our role-playing game, because if you probably can't see it, but there's little marks on these bases that show their front arc for their line of sight.
That's lovely.
So those are a role-playing thing. If you're kickstarting it, you'll get everything for the board game, but you'll also get more stuff to role-play with.
So not only are you getting a cool cooperative board game, but you're also getting your
GM
minis
kit,
for
basically.
your GM kit.
Yeah.
which is fantastic for Unleashed in
Yeah.
this case.
Yeah. If you have the Unleashed
hordes.
Adventure Kit and stuff, this is more stuff along those
Yeah,
lines.
yeah.
Great. Well, I think we're up with you.
Well, let's see
We
if
are.
I can be a little bit more effective.
Well, first of all, you
So,
did your spawn, right? Yeah.
You did
Yeah,
this
we've
one.
done our spawn
So
horribly.
your
horribly.
your movement options, I'll explain again, is holding, because this matters for you.
Right.
Walking or charging. Holding means you get a third die in all your ranged attacks. They're boosted.
Right.
So this guy's in cover, which makes him a 12. And you are 5, so you would need a 7.
You could do it.
Oh, easy.
But
However,
everybody has choices, and your choices are about how good with your bow you are.
Right.
And one of your choices is if you hold, you don't aim, you shoot twice.
yes.
So I guess the question is, do you want to shoot twice or do you want to boost the one?
Or do you want to walk toward those guys and try to kill them?
I really want to get one of those misspeakers.
They're still hiding in that puddle.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And I to be honest, that's actually good because we are gonna run into a whole pile of difficulty over there.
And nothing's spawned behind you guys yet.
Right.
There's a spawn behind us.
There's a
There
spawn
is, and I
behind
just
you.
realized that just
You're
now.
surrounded. It's an ambush.
Just now.
You said surrounded. I still didn't see that 6 over there.
So the core,
So if you moved on the same spot with the druid, though, you
Put it back.
you could potentially take a shot at anyone who's in a puddle. You know.
Now my
could.
ranged attacks, they can go over the water, obviously. So I could.
Yeah.
Could I move here and then? Oh no.
The
never mind.
trees.
The trees.
The trees.
Of course.
yes,
Right.
but
So do you
figures don't block line of sight. So you can shoot past things
So
as
with-
long as they're not trees or
With
bugs.
that
The speaker.
misspeaker, with him being in the water, his armor is
His def.
His defense is 13.
Is
defense is
13.
And what's
Yeah.
your accuracy on that bow?
5.
Okay, so you're playing
That'd be
with
8.
an 8. So you could.
But I would roll. I can roll 3 dice. And
Not
drop
only
the
if you
lowest.
don't move.
If you,
Well, I
he
can
also
move and be
has
precise.
a precise shot ability that says he gets virtuoso basically if he wants to trade his not shooting twice or his not doing other things.
Right,
Well,
right.
that makes sense. Do you
I
want
think
to?
that's-
Do you want to
I think that's worth doing.
What the heck?
So it's probably worth
Yeah.
doing. So we're gonna move you one space up here,
One space.
and since that guy is spraying, you guys probably want to stay spread out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
not in the same.
Yeah, fair
that
enough.
makes sense.
Don't group up. You know.
And then let's take a shot at the misspeaker.
All right, let's do
And
it.
precise shot says he can choose to roll an additional die in either the attack or damage roll for a
Oh,
ranged
cool.
attack.
In this case, it would be.
You need it
me
for
to
the-
do
for the
attack.
attack roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So dropping the low,
Oh, you still got an 8.
and that's
5 plus 8, 13. You hit that guy.
outstanding. And so
Now you make a damage roll. The power of your bow is an 8, and his armor is a 13.
So
So
looking
5.
at a 5.
Yeah.
Well, a 5 equals.
want
you
a
have to, you have
10,
to,
though.
you have to
I
beat.
really
Has to
wanna-
beat
You
the
wa-
armor.
and
You
you-
have to
6,
meet
okay.
the
So
And
I
you
defense.
want to get an 18 total. So yes, you want a 10 because that'll take him out in one shot.
Absolutely.
Now, do you have any?
Headshot.
Do you have any cards that
Headshot.
boost?
Headshot.
Do you have anything that adds a die? Because you can have boost cards that add die, and you, as the super archer, have another card that can add dice. But I don't see it.
I don't
over
have
there.
anything. I only think I could knock him down if I wanted to.
Which
But-
that will help other people later because you automatically hit. But you might not want to waste that card yet.
Right. Exactly. No, I do not.
But you're going to also get a new card, so you're going to kind of waste a card anyway.
True.
The other thing you
Sure,
could have done was play your hoof it to walk one extra space.
True.
Yeah, but you
I
want
think
to
staying
wanna
back
kinda
here is actually
stay-
a good idea.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to stick to the
So-
ranger trope.
So,
here,
so let's do this. Everybody has this ability card, which nobody's really used yet because you didn't have ability. Yours is weird. I gave you the weird one.
Which is fine. I've read up on it, and I think
And
I
then
know how to
yours
use it.
is if you kill something with a shot, you can spend a feat card and shoot again.
Which I'm
So let's
totally
hope
on
that you
board.
roll a 10.
Exactly.
And then you can spend a feat card and kill the other bog tribe
Now,
or
when you
something
use
else.
this, you still
You keep
keep
this
it.
is part of your character
It's
sheet.
just now
Ability
forever.
cards get added to your character sheet.
almost like it belongs on your.
Oh, but you have
sheet.
16 and they won't all fit. So yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that
clearly.
reminds me of a question I wanted to ask during his turn. Does he have a finite number of those bombs?
No.
No. Just
There is
forever?
no ammo tracking in
endless
that game.
gourds.
That's awesome.
Endless
He even
gourds.
has a
Where are
feat
you
card
keeping
called
those?
Gourds of Plenty, which
Yeah,
lets him
it's-
throw a
he's
second
like a
one during
fruit
the same
stand
turn.
vendor.
He is.
It is the best.
Yeah.
Not only do I
And
pound
his
it,
figure does have a whole belt full of them. So
Oh, look at that. That's brilliant.
but not for long if you don't
Alright.
kill this guy.
All right.
Yeah, roll that 10.
Yeah.
So-
Stop.
roll a 10.
I'm nervous.
You can do it.
Yes, we all are. Roll the 10.
Or
Yes!
better.
There you go.
Or better.
So that is enough.
Congratulations.
What we would normally do is we would flip both those because that's super damage. But since that guy, it might come back later.
Joey.
Boom.
Joey.
And-
That's how we do it.
Thanks.
We said earlier you were awesome.
Yeah, that's true. That
And we
is
need
right.
to put a XP on the.
And we put
clock.
one, not one of those. That's an XP you earn. The clock XP are
That's our
separate.
Right, right,
chest.
So that is the clock XP. You've killed one of the 4 misspeakers you
Unnecessary
have to
misspeakers,
kill.
Yes.
And I
Get to shoot again. Burn a
can.
V card. Shoot again.
Well, you use precise shot. Sniper says you can shoot into spaces with friends, which you
Right.
might want to do to save Olo. And Snapfire says if you kill a guy, you can spend a feat card and shoot again. Now, I would not spend a reroll feat card
No,
for,
absolutely not.
for either of those, but you have 2 feat cards that are
I
both
do.
rerolls.
But I really don't want to get rid of my Heart Eater either.
Heart Eater is a
But it's
melee
a melee.
one.
It's a melee.
Yeah.
How often?
Because
am I gonna
you're
win?
not a entirely ranged character.
You might
No.
actually.
You're a little bit
your
melee.
melee is actually a
I
6
kill things
accuracy.
with my bow in
Big
melee.
bow. Big bow.
You do
I
have bow
these
spikes.
Huge bow spikes.
Yeah. And
I
one
just
of-
stab people in the face.
One of his
So-
really cheap upgrades is just sharpened bow spikes. So
It's
he
pretty
punches
amazing.
harder.
I love
Best.
it. This is the
Great.
best character so far. Sorry. No offense.
You guys all suck.
I'm super
This
offended.
half of the table's
I'm looking forward to
you'll
this.
see.
I'm looking forward
We'll
to this.
see.
This is gonna
Well,
happen.
we'll-
I think a mutated
so.
demi-human that can like literally shoot through the Smith speaker with one shot with the bow deserves a little bit of praise. You know,
Well, those arrows are as tall as that misspeaker almost.
That's
true.
These are these are these.
So
are
what? So what's your
yes.
next action? What are you
All
gonna
right, so
take?
I'm going to discard. I'll take care of the Heart Eater. We'll just
So just
deal
put
with
it over
Yep.
here,
We'll
discard
take it
pile.
out, and I'm going to shoot.
And that lets you trigger Snapfire.
right?
Snapfire and
Now, do you have to spend another feat to use sniper though? If
does.
you want to
Now,
take
yeah,
out that.
I can do that. It's one of my re-rolls, but I think it's worth the sacrifice.
Okay,
Okay.
so burn it.
Now the thing is, do I want to keep crippling shot or return fire?
Don't.
Now, how important is the knockdown?
If you attack something that's knocked down with melee or ranged attack, you automatically hit it.
We'll use that for a
So
So
mistake.
that
keep
would have
that
been
one.
good to knock that misspeaker down if you didn't kill it.
True. So now that I have done that, I can shoot this one here,
Yes.
saving you from this melee. So,
And that guy, he's a bog trog, so he's def 11 base. He's amphibious in water, so he's +2.
Right.
And bog trog skin has a little bit of a chameleon aspect, so he's got a camouflage special rule that says if he has cover, he gets +1 def on top of that.
So he's gonna be a 4.
So he's a 14. So you need a 9 to hit him.
Bam, son.
you got that reroll over there
It's
though.
doable.
But you've got a reroll.
I do have a reroll. Now, since I've already used my precise shot, I don't get
Precise
that.
shot says your first attack. Other
attack,
ones
so-
might say all your attacks or whatever. It just
So I
depends
still
on what
get
the
the
ability
2.
says.
So let's give it a go.
Okay, if it pans out, close but no go so gone.
Super close. You can spin your reroll or not.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Save it. Save it. I'm just saying because if you when we get another misspeaker out here at the moment, you're gonna want to knock him down so
That's
that we
true.
can pound him. You know, pound
That's
him
true.
into the mud.
That is true.
So I will suffer through another round
Okay.
of being locked
Yeah,
at.
I
right.
really overspent myself. I don't.
So
I
you
don't
draw
want you to
one feat
overspend
card
yourself.
because your hero activation's over, because you did your move in your action.
Oh, what?
And now you have an I'm a hero, which lets you heal a thing, and
Yes.
shootist, which I think adds an additional die.
Plays the card to
Oh,
use one additional
2
archery
archeries.
skill. Oh,
And
Oh,
your
that's
third
cool.
archery is just draw 2 feat cards at the end of your turn,
I'm-
instead of something else.
Very cool.
So
So-
it's your fast draw. You're just good at whatever you're doing.
of
So
course.
now we're going to draw your villain action card.
Oh, yay.
And your villain action card says fish bait. Activate up to 2 bog trogs. And remember, this is a bog trog, that's a bog trog, that's a bog trog. Everything's a
Right.
bog trog. So we go by that order again.
Right. So
And it
first
doesn't
we-
say color in this.
Well,
it
in
just
this case,
says,
it's as closest to him.
yeah, closest to him. So he is here, and this bog trog is 2 away, and that bog trog is 2 away, and that bog trog is 2 away. So it's got to be these 3 guys. And then we look at the numbers. The swamp shamblers that I added because of the flexibility of the system come before the spear guys, so it's going to be him. And then it's going to be one of those 2. You're the active player you choose.
So let's
So
activate the
one of the other important things is
yeah.
the targeting on this, the tiebreaker targeting, is player to the active player's left. So he's not one of the people that are going to get charged. If you pick this guy, he charges Olo because Olo is to your left.
Oh.
So
that makes
that
sense.
guy will charge, and charge
I
damage
see.
gets a
Right.
bonus die.
Yeah.
So you want this guy to
Yeah,
activate
covered.
because he won't get the boost for the charge.
Yeah, definitely.
And they
So
have
we're
to
gonna do
charge.
that's their tactic. If they're
Definitely.
if
They
this
like
guy
Well, the mi-
this
oh,
guy
that's
will
not the
melee.
misspeaker.
Yeah.
I was thinking misspeaker. Okay.
the misspeaker isn't.
Now, if
Yeah, no.
if for some reason this guy was here, he wouldn't go because he's red and the card's blue, and that doesn't say anything about color.
Right.
But if there was a blue misspeaker, then he would have to go because he comes first.
Well, we got to start with that swamp shambler. So let's start with.
So
him first.
Swamp Shambler says melee attack in his space, can't do
Right,
that.
can't do
Then he
that.
says rush, but
Rush.
he's inside rough terrain, so he can't
can't.
charge out of it.
But then his next one is shoot. No,
No,
sorry, I
wrong
grabbed the
card.
wrong one.
Yeah, that's a gobber with a
Yeah,
gun.
that's that one.
Okay,
His-
so you can't charge. So then you're just gonna pursue.
Yeah, his pursue is if he's within 3 spaces of a hero, he walks toward the closest hero. And he can only walk this way because he can't go diagonal out of that because that corner.
Yeah.
Right.
So he just steps ever so closer to the party.
Right into death, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Straight
Oh.
into death.
The open arms of my 2 giant punching daggers.
Okay. So then we are going to activate this guy who's going to, you're going to roll dice again. 2 dice. 2 dice. Swing an Olo. He
All right.
needs a
All
9.
right.
He needs a 9?
He needs a 9.
And he gets a
which
9.
you can roll. Good job.
Show him.
and his power is a
It's
9.
9, so let's do
His
this
power's
again.
9,
just
so
needs a
roll
sweet
lower
5.
this time.
Just a
Come on,
yeah,
guys.
just a little fiver. No, you're gonna bring it down. Yeah, it's cool. Whatever. 6 is fine. I'm
So
down.
6 and 9.
6 is only going to hit me and then hurt me.
So that's only 1
That's
damage though,
one
because
damage.
it's not an 18.
All right, so cool.
It's not over.
My giant poofy croak pouch is feeling
Are
very.
you with us or against us?
Shut up. I'm doing best.
This is
Just wait until you guys get attacked. It'll go both ways.
I know.
Yeah, I'm just soaking up all the
It's
damage.
not going to matter when
So-
they get attacked because I'm not rolling against them.
That was your card, your villain action card. Your turn's over, so now we go on to Agata.
Fantastic.
All right.
You're gonna spawn
I got a 5.
You
A
would.
5 on
You
the
would.
six.
on the 6.
Oh,
it's behind
goodness.
you guys.
No, that's fine.
This
He's
is-
right up on him.
Yeah.
If
That's
anyone's
true.
a
That's true. That's true.
hurricane of death, it's going to happen.
So
on
your
them. Don't worry about
your one real problem is that
Uh-huh.
you have two attacks,
Right.
and you cannot move into a space where there are 2 people to punch.
So you have
Okay.
to pick your death.
So you have to pick which guy.
Who
and
do you want to
your
die?
your choices are called great strengths, and they do different things. March lets you ignore rough terrain, which is pretty handy in the woods. Savagery is the one we've been talking about, and Savagery says make 1 individual attack against each character in the space, and characters are friends too. So if you move into a space with 7 bad guys or 6 bad guys and 1 hero, you could Savagery, but you might punch your friend right in the face.
Right.
So if I may
Yeah, I
make
can
a
see that.
suggestion, you don't want the Bog Trog to get the charge, you know? So you may want to go and engage him, denying him the charge, and
let the
punch
Shambler-
him in the face.
And let the Shambler do whatever
Let
he
the
shambly
Shambler
wants.
just shamble
But
down.
his third ability is something that matters a lot.
Okay.
Oh, let's hear it.
So he's got Takedown. And Takedown says your attacks ignore tough and abilities that reduce damage. Or resilient flesh and
Yeah,
abilities that
resilient
reduce damage. So gators are tough. If you do damage to a gator, you roll a die, and on a 5 or 6, you subtract 1 damage point.
Okay.
Flesh
Bog
is-
Trogs are resilient flesh.
Yep.
Resilient flesh is an ability that people that played Undercity will have seen on Drudges. If you don't do super damage to something with resilient flesh, it just falls down. It doesn't die. But you can ignore that. So that means Swamp Shamblers, you need to roll a 17, or an 18, a 17
kill it outright.
to kill it in 1 hit.
Okay.
But it's got defense 12, so you just need, if you use that ability, to do a 13 to it to kill
Okay.
it.
Because they're undead. You're basically,
Yeah, Swamp
you need to-
Shamblers are
You
zombies.
just,
Okay.
need, you just need to. It's the equivalent of having to lop off their head instead of just knocking them down.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, gotcha.
You have to super damage it. So the question
Okay.
is, but I still feel like that the Spear Bog Trog.
The Spear Bog
gonna
Trogs
do more damage
are
in the
probably
long
more
run.
dangerous.
Yes.
Okay.
You know?
Because Shamblers have the Horde ability that
Right.
says if they get together, they hit harder
Right.
and more accurately. But yes, a lone Shambler's not that dangerous.
Okay.
He's
You
just going
heard
to
it
stick
from the
around.
man who made the game.
So you, but if you go after this guy, you're splitting the party even farther apart.
Uh-huh.
So what would you like to do?
I'm gonna go after this.
You're going to
guy.
charge that guy. So you're going
Yeah.
to choose charge as your move. So you can only make attacks after a charge and only melee attacks, but you can do an action like kicking over a ritual circle or pulling a lever or whatever. No matter what, you can do that and then charge or charge and then do that. So your healing is an action but not an attack. So you can totally charge and then heal somebody.
Oh,
Okay?
good to know.
So you charge in that space.
I'm gonna come.
Uh-huh.
Your first melee attack after a charge gets a boosted damage roll.
Okay. I also have this feat called Slam. Do I do this?
Slam doesn't matter because that guy can't leave the board.
Okay. Well, I
If-
can move him to a connected space. It doesn't have to be back.
Yeah, you could slam him in the trees
Into
or over
the
here.
forest.
Yeah.
But
But you,
would I do that instead of an attack, or would
no, you would do it
afterwards,
in the middle of your movement. You would say you're going to charge, which lets you move up to 2 spaces.
Uh-huh.
You would move here, you would place slam, and then you would finish your charge.
Oh.
All right.
So that's
But-
always an option. If you want, like, if for example, if you really want to get into the space with a misspeaker, but you don't want to take a free strike, because leaving a space with villains makes you take free strikes per villain, and it can get dangerous. You could hit that villain, knock him past that space, and then he'd be in the space that you moved into to punch the misspeaker.
Okay. Great. Well, I will hold on to that one for now and just attack the guy.
Okay. So you're gonna roll
so-
2 dice. Your accuracy is 6, I believe, on your kataras.
Yes.
Yes.
And this guy's only an 11 because he's not in the water, and,
Yep.
and you're
Oh,
doing
okay,
melee,
yeah,
so that
I got
water
this.
wouldn't even matter. So you just need a 5, and we've proven that 5s are not hard to roll.
Punch him. Punch him.
So you punched him.
Okay.
It's the first attack after a charge, so it's boosted. That means 3 dice.
For damage.
Yep, power 8 versus armor of 12.
12.
You
Four.
almost can't not kill this guy. Okay, he's pasted.
Paste it.
He goes back over here, and you guys get 1 more XP.
I would like to hear how you did that. So.
RP it.
He popped in, and I was facing this way, and he went, he was like, I'm here. And so then
That's exactly what happened. I saw
I
it.
was like, you made me do things. I'm going to kill you. So I ran over here, and then I just pushed her back. I was like, no, you don't get to be here.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Now, one of your
Just
abilities,
eloquently said.
one of your abilities in your ability
You had to make
deck
it sound like it was no
lets
big
you
deal.
sidestep.
Okay.
Now, normally, you cannot interrupt your action with your movement.
Okay.
So you couldn't say, I'm in a space with a bad guy, I punch that guy, then I walk and punch another guy.
Right.
But sidestepping is a way to move that's not a movement. So you could have punched a guy and then sidestepped 1 space and punched another guy.
very
So it's an ability that Gardeck has in Undercity, and she also has. There's a lot of similarities in the
Blitzing.
roles.
Yeah.
Like in the Black River Irregulars expansion, the Black River Irregulars expansion coming out this year has a dwarf pistolier in it called Barl Blackheel.
Okay.
And he's got a lot of similarities to Canis, the gun mage in Undercity, but he's not as good at killing things that are tough and those kind of things because
enough.
she has magic bullets. He's just a dirty fighter that can pistol whip things and has double barrel guns and all that kind of stuff. So characters that fill the same role, like he's the range character in this group, he's not going to be exactly like Canis, but he may have abilities that he shares
So
with
that
her.
you're not mirroring similar characters
Yeah.
from Undercity, but
Yeah.
you have characters that may have familiar roles that you're used to playing, you know. So, but you're not copying
Yeah.
straight from Undercity.
Which helps you build a competent party, really.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, with his sidestep that you were referring to,
Which he doesn't have right now.
So that would be like an ability that
It would be an ability card, yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Would he be able to, like, say, all right, so the march gives him an ability to ignore rough terrain. Let's
Yes.
say he did that. Let's say he had that activated. He was here, killed this guy. Could he sidestep to here, ignoring this rough terrain?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because sidestepping is moving, and that ability says when you move, ignore rough terrain. So there's a
Fantastic.
lot of stacking of abilities,
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
rad.
and they
That's-
chain together in
So
certain
this
ways.
game's feeling like it's not just oh, I'm just gonna go and kill whatever is there, but it's about how to make the best combos
Yes.
using the characters that
Yes.
you've chosen
Very tactical.
in order to kill.
And the other thing about your ability cards is each character kind of has some sub-themes in those ability cards. Like Olo can be really good at gourds, or really good at stabbing things, or he can do some other stuff. Like he has an ability in his deck that says during setup you can put Olo 1 space away from the starting location, so he
Right.
can be a little bit farther out there and closer to your goals and that kind of stuff. You have a bunch of new magics.
Awesome.
You have better melee, better range, better other things. And then you, of course, just get tankier and stabbier.
I love that.
But if you want to replay, if you 4 guys played through all 7 of these chapters and wanted to play the exact same game again with no added components, trading which characters you're playing and building those characters the way you want that character to work makes the game a little bit different every
Kind
time.
of, in a weird way,
Quite a
you've made
bit.
like you've made a MOBA style, like I'm,
I
tech
was just
tree.
thinking that too.
Yeah,
you know.
there's a little bit of a tech tree in there, but there's no prerequisites or anything. They just
Right.
have individual costs. Some of these might cost 2, and some might cost something like 18.
Right, there's no
So-
prerequisites. It's just about do you burn the experience points that you
Yeah.
earn in every single engagement.
Yeah.
All right. Are
So,
you doing
Agata,
villains?
Agata's
Yeah.
done, so we're going to draw the villain action card.
boy.
It's called Blood in the Water. It says
Yeah.
activate 2 red villains closest to you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. That guy's probably the closest that way. This guy is 1, 2, 3, 4 also, and then that guy's more than that, and that guy's going to be
Actually,
more than
he
that.
should be about 1,
One.
2.
2, 3,
Well, if we
4,
go-
5.
can
When
you go diagonal?
when you're doing distance, you use the movement rules.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Because that's because
Because
abstractly
they would have to come
Yes.
using that movement. rules.
abstractly
Okay.
the corner open close things makes the board bigger than it really is.
Got it.
Yeah.
So when you're looking for a villain to her closest or farthest, you use the movement
You do what
for
their
distance.
path would be.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And you ignore their special abilities just to make it simpler.
Okay.
You don't have to say, well, amphibious guys would be, just count
we-
with base movement.
So we've just got a shambler.
So we've got 1 shambler over here,
Yeah.
and we've got 1 bog trog over there.
So let's activate them both.
So
I
this
mean,
guy's
we
just going to
activate them.
step into the woods.
We
Right.
would just do that.
And
Actually, the
that
Shambler
guy-
would go first, I think.
Yes, but
But
The Shambler's
they're
gonna just-
going to be rather ineffective.
Right. So
Well,
he's just going to move into the
but
corner.
the
right?
shambler, he has the rush tactic, which is charging, just like the spear bog trog. The shambler has a target within 2 spaces.
Oh, no.
He does.
If for some reason Vasquez was 1 space closer, then there would be a target for that guy too.
So he's going to rush.
But he's going to rush and go after Olo. Olo getting out there in the front is always a positive thing.
Yay! dead frog.
Okay, so the Shambler,
Oh,
there's not
sir.
another Shambler in that space, so the Shambler's only 4 accuracy.
Right.
And Ola's getting attacked, so you're rolling dice again.
Oh, yes.
But like before, he needs a 9 because Ola's def is 13.
This is like Monopoly. It's going to build better friendships.
You,
Oh, wow.
you almost got it, but you didn't. So that was...
Your death will
That was
always
your
be
villain action.
Painful,
Great.
not
Okay.
slow.
All right.
So now you guys have basically
Mine?
done all of the basics of the game, each of you. So that's a round. Now we are going to draw an event card.
We got Patrol, which is roll a die. On a roll of 1 through 4, activate the villain farthest from any hero. On a roll of 5 or 6, determine the space farthest from any hero that has a villain in it and activate all villains in that space.
So there are no multiple space villains on the board right now, so we don't have to roll that
Those are the
die.
ones that are on me.
Yes, but they're not farthest from a hero.
Right.
They can't be farthest from a hero.
Okay.
So by movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, that guy is pretty far away. That guy's only a couple spaces away, and that guy's 3 spaces away. So it's going to be this guy over here. So he's going to activate, do what he does when he activates, which is generally just walk closer to a bad guy when he's that far, a hero when he's
He'll
that
be
far
able
away.
to charge
This is
next
just-
round.
this is-
But now he'll be able to charge.
Yeah.
Right.
This is getting fantastic.
Yeah, we're
This is
definitely.
getting...
You guys are surrounded.
Push.
Now, in
Wow.
addition to villains that are activated by cards, there are significant villains in significant characters in general, but villains in certain scenarios that activate based on initiative.
Okay.
So when these guys pop out, I will have to look at my playtest materials under my chair to remember, but more than likely they activate on initiative 20. So they take a turn
Before everyone else.
during your guys' things.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Now they don't spawn and do all the other things that heroes do when they take a turn, but they are in initiative, so you can guarantee
Okay.
they're going to do something.
So just like all good cooperative games, there's a lot of ways to die.
Yes.
But only one way to win.
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to see if I can do my turn without the Angel of Death giving me bad advice.
I'm doing one of the best I
I
know.
think
No,
he's
you're
talking
the
about me.
Angel of Death that's delivering death, but yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the advice death.
He's
I'm
the advice
the dice death.
Wait, shouldn't you be
He's the
delivering
dice
life?
death. So.
I'm trying to.
Well, without, excuse me, how about without my guardian angel getting in the way? All right?
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, analogies are terrible. Let me do my turn. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with just burning a feat, and I'm going to go with gourds aplenty, so that I can just start throwing gourds willy-nilly.
Yeah, that ability says throw a gourd regardless of anything else you do on your turn.
Right. So
That would let him even charge and throw a gourd.
Right. So I think what I'm going to do is take advantage of my feat here as well. I'm going to start by doing a dagger attack.
So this goes away at the beginning of your turn.
Right. So I'm not going to move. All right.
So don't play your gourds of plenty until you want to actually throw the gourd.
Oh, really?
Because it just says throw a gourd
Oh,
right
okay,
away.
So it just says throw a gourd. Well, I can do it now then.
Yeah, you can do
and
it
then I'm
now.
going to throw it, I think, at... I'm going to throw it...
So there's no restrictions. He's in melee. He can still make a ranged
you
attack.
can always shoot outside of your space,
Okay.
but you can't aim if there are villains in your space.
Okay, and that's not really aiming.
So what I could
Or what-
do
isn't it?
in
Aiming
theory-
is trading is not moving, and then you get an extra die.
So
Oh, I see what
so
you're
I'm going
saying.
to try to do my first tactic first in the hopes that I maybe take both of them out because I'm going to do a double dagger attack right now. I'm going to do that by burning a feat card and using my static feat. You know, it says that if I discard a feat card after making a dagger attack, I can make another dagger attack.
Very nice.
All right. So I'm going to double dip my
Well, make your first dagger attack for free first before you decide what card you're going to throw away, unless you're boosting or something like that.
all right. I'm
So-
thinking about I don't think I need to boost, but I'm going to go after that.
How many dice do you have?
I have 2.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to do that Spear Bogtrog. All right.
Okay.
Go after
Defensive
him.
11.
Defensive 11. My
Do we need
accuracy
to
is
spawn
6
somebody
on it.
You do need to spawn
Oh
somebody
shoot,
first.
spawning, of course.
He said he was going to take his turn without my help.
Oh yeah, no, it's valid.
There
I
you
was
go.
waiting.
This is very good.
We
No.
were hoping you didn't notice. Thanks.
Okay, there's another misspeaker.
Yeah,
He's over here.
Yeah, just because I said I'm going to try doesn't mean I'm going to succeed.
I was going to let you go all the way up to the point of doing something wrong.
Which
you're-
took all of 10 seconds.
Somebody else saved you.
Okay, so now I'm going to roll my attack
Your dagger.
for my dagger. So hopefully I get a hit because my
So
accuracy
you're
is 6.
6 plus
12.
6,
Yep.
12. They're def 11.
Yep.
So you stabbed a bog trog.
So I'm going to stab a Bogtrog and his
Armor's 12.
12.
So I need a 6 as well. So I need a 7.
You need a 7,
Right, so I have to decide if I want to boost it.
which
or
we've
not.
been told is average rolls you can depend on.
It works for Catan.
Oh man, do I want to burn a boost? No, this is early into it, so I'm gonna just give it a shot.
There you go.
Yes.
So that guy got stabbed.
Okay.
So he's dead.
He is absolutely
So there,
dead.
we get another XP. So now you guys are gonna guaranteed get 2 XP per person.
Yeah.
So I'm going to burn this feat card so
For
that
your,
I can get another
for your double
dagger
strike.
attack. Or
Yep.
For my double
Now
strike.
remember, that guy's resilient flesh. You have to beat his armor by 5, or he just falls down. So roll the attack first to see if you
Yeah,
attack.
because I have a deadly skill feat as well, too. No, it only ignores tough.
It
My
only
bad.
ignores tough. You're good at killing gators,
Oh,
not necessarily zombies.
So
That's
it hit
all you
5
needed.
hits.
Barely.
Barely.
Okay.
Now I have to decide if I want to boost this or not.
Well, 6 versus, what do you need, 17?
yeah.
Because you got to get 5 over 12, which is him. So if you don't get 5 over, he does fall down. And when a villain activates who's knocked down, all they do is stand back up.
Will I still be allowed to aim if he's knocked down?
No, because he's still in your space.
Still in
Because
my
abstractly, even villains that are laying on the ground can still stab you as you leave a space.
Of course.
3 strikes are per villains in the space, not per standing villains.
Well, I have.
Can he move out of that
He
space?
can, but a free strike roll is 1 die
gonna-
per villain. A 5 or 6, you take 1 damage regardless of
gonna-
armor or
Even if they're
anything else.
down.
Even if they're laying down because they bite your ankles.
I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna boost it.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
So 3 dice.
Because what's gonna
That's a good
happen?
move.
Here's my tactic. If I had my strategy hat on, this is my tactic. Is that I'm at 4 hit points. If I take another damage in the next round, which let's be fair is probably going to happen, then I'm gonna get all my feat cards back from my second wind. You know, so it's in my best interest to burn all of my feat cards this
Yeah.
round.
Because your second wind
Oh, I see what
says,
you're saying.
If I'm at 3, I get all my feat cards. back.
does it say the first time you're at 3?
First time.
Yeah, because you're the trailblazer, so you're you're playing the character like he was designed to be played. You're supposed to go out there, you're gonna get beat on, and then
Yeah.
your second wind's gonna trigger because you've gotten beat on a lot.
So here's my boost roll.
Nice.
Not bad. So
Okay.
12.
So
Wow.
12 plus 6
is 8.
is 18, which
Wow,
is
very
5
nice.
over his
Yeah.
12.
Very nice.
So you killed him. Resilient Flesh also says if you killed him in 1 shot, they're worth 2 XP.
Oh!
Yeah.
If you do damage to him, he falls down. He's worth 1 XP.
That was a very.
That all
effective-
worked out very well. So now, words of plenty.
You also haven't chosen a move yet, and the rules say that if you
right.
don't declare your move at the start of your turn, it's walk. So you
it's
can
walk.
still move 1 space,
Okay. So
and you can do that before your Gourds of Plenty because Gourds of Plenty is not your action. It's just
Yeah, but
I throw a gourd.
But I don't have to choose to aim.
You can't aim because you didn't say you were holding at
That's
the beginning
fair.
of
So
your
I
turn.
will walk.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is because we have both nasty
Well,
guys.
now
right
wait a second.
there.
You are actually equidistant from them when it comes to.
You
hitting
can throw a gourd. Your
And
gourd
each
range
one.
is 2. You can throw a gourd at any of these guys, and
you just
these
stay
guys
here.
are not getting the amphibious cover bonus because there's no water
That's
in those
right.
spaces.
Well, it doesn't matter with the gourd. He auto hits.
Yeah,
it's
if he chooses
chooses
flare.
If
Yeah.
I choose flare, but I could choose glue and make their movement.
They
a
don't.
lot-
They don't charge.
They don't charge. Okay, then that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Glue
And I
would
don't- and I don't
really
care about
bother
s-
the spear guys.
And I don't really care about Stinker because I don't want to scatter them.
No.
You
So-
might want to move them closer though.
Maybe.
To the rest of us.
Yeah.
Oh, because then Thurn could get a really good shot there across the puddle.
He's still likely to be able to move closer on his turn and get in there.
Well, but if he walks, he's 1, 2, 3 away, which is out of
So
range.
this
you're right.
speaker is
So-
defense 11. I don't really need the auto hit that bad. I'm gonna go with Stinker just so we
Okay.
can see how it works. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I still have to burn the Gourds of Plenty.
Yeah, you
to
throw
do
your guards
this.
of plenty.
So I'm gonna try to roll.
And the
hit.
reason you're choosing, you're needing gourds of plenty, it's because your action was melee attacks.
action was melee attacks.
If you had thrown a dagger,
Uh-huh.
then you could throw the gourd also because those are range attacks.
Yes.
But you went with melee.
So I went with double melee attack. I'm basically I'm using my character to its full advantage.
Yeah.
As I can
I
this
read
turn.
this? I just wanna see
Yeah,
it.
sure. So here's my roll to hit 7.
So that guy's def is 11,
11.
like other bog trucks.
Right.
And your accuracy, I think, 5 on your gourds.
for the Gourd bombs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you
hits.
hit him.
On
Now-
a 1 to 3, nothing happens. On a 4 to 6,
You get to place him.
I get to place him.
Nice.
You did.
Great.
And you're going to move him closer to you guys?
I want to get him right in the shot line, so line it up for some good
Now, another
options.
interaction in the game is Stinker says living. Shamblers, they're dead. They don't care about stinky things.
They don't care. So
They
now I'm
are
gonna-
sticky things.
So now, I
So
get
now
to
you're going to
my
roll your damage. Yep.
So the power 5 against
Nice.
15.
See,
Okay.
that's
So how much is that?
So it's 15 plus 6 is 20.
Wait.
15 plus 5.
Yeah, this
Whoa.
is
10 plus 5
yeah.
is 15.
That die was out there, but it wasn't one of the ones you
Oh,
rolled.
okay. 10 plus 5 is 15, and against his
Armor
armor
13.
13, so it's one.
yeah.
So flip. So he is the blue one. So flip a heart on the blue side of that card,
Great.
Nice.
and then you did move him closer to other people.
Right, so now I can do my
XP.
walk.
So now you can still walk, and that 1 damage turns into 1 XP. Where would you like to walk?
Feel like
You might want to retreat.
I'm
a
gonna
bit.
go in actually.
But you
with
could
Druid.
also walk toward into the woods to be closer to the side quest.
Yeah, that's even better. Let's keep taking. Well, at this point, I'm not going to activate my second wind, but I'm going to move in with the druid.
Okay.
With Vasquez.
Good
So
call.
the reason I encourage you to go toward the side quest is because you also have ability cards that say like you can re-roll 1 side quest related roll once. So
Right.
you're the outrider trailblazer guy who goes out there and does those kind of things.
Got it.
You can hop over rocks with certain abilities and that kind of stuff too.
Once that misspeaker is done, then I'll go for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's a better.
So
yeah.
we're gonna draw you a feat card because your hero
So,
activation is over.
Now we're
And
going
we
to do
need
my
villain
villain
And then we
actions.
see what your villain card says. Your villain card says close combat. Activate the villain closest to you. And there are 2 villains equidistant. Well, 3 villains equidistant.
Yeah.
And one of them is a misspeaker because you moved him toward you. So that misspeaker is going to go.
Right.
Misspeaker says melee attack in his face, ranged attack,
He's going to venom
then
all
goad,
over
which
us.
we haven't seen yet.
Oh, thanks
So
for
he's going
showing
to
up.
venom you guys.
Dang it.
I knew
now-
I knew that was going to happen. But
Guess who's getting healed next turn?
If this was a standard ranged attack that only targeted one thing, we would use the active player tiebreaker here, which would be Olo, because they only attack Olo.
Yeah.
But it's a
Yeah, they do.
But it's a spray, and since you're both getting attacked with it, we're gonna let the player to your left roll.
All right.
So roll
Okay.
3 dice, drop the low one, and see
Because it's
if
virtuoso.
Watch
See
how
who-
hard this is
gets
to
hit.
miss us.
yeah.
Watch me. You see?
We're not even
Do it. Do it for everyone can see.
Not even in cover, although his defense is 15.
So- So 9 plus 5, right?
Don't even.
9 plus 5 is it's accuracy's 5 for venom. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a 14.
14, which
You're not in the water, so
Yeah.
you're not a 15 anymore, and you're a 14. You're the squishiest, but you're the hardest to hit.
Oh, I am.
Because generally,
And yet-
if you have more hit points, you're
And
easier
yet.
to hit.
So we've both been hit with
But they did
power
both hit you.
9, So feel
So we'll need a corrosion token
Nothing but
for
love.
both of you guys.
Nothing but love over here on this side of the table. I swear. I promise.
So you're both corroded. Now we're going to do the same thing to see if the damage hurts them because you roll once and you see what.
It's not 3 though. It's just
No, it's still virtuoso.
Oh,
yeah,
so
it's
he
still
always
virtuoso,
rolls
dude.
and
I'm
drops
sorry.
the low.
Oof.
Because
I apologize.
he's got all kinds of magical trinkets that make him awesome.
Oh man.
That was a nice roll. Power 9. Power 9 on that.
19.
19.
Yay.
So that's going to be 2 on both of you.
That's 2 on me and 2 on you.
So your second wind goes off.
Yay.
Everything I
second
said before, I
win.
take back. I apologize.
Thank you.
So like I said, you can use all these things in the RPG. The Unleashed RPG is about the wild side of the setting, and misspeakers are a playable career in the RPG.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to buy this and get together, like
piece.
this is a piece that you could use as a hero.
Yeah.
The same. So we tried to think about that for giving you basically a toolbox of things.
That's great.
And you can play Gator PCs in the game also.
Yeah, the
That's
Gators
cool.
are pretty rad.
And there's a couple other Gator figures. Where we have added to the stretch goals Tomahawk throwing gators, but there's also the Boker, who's like a wizardy gator with a headdress and stuff.
Is he holding a head?
He is holding a severed head.
That's.
I like to think that
like
it talks,
Oh yeah.
that he puppets
That's a
it.
raised dead.
That might be where the acid's spraying out of. Who knows?
Oh, good point. Good point.
So-
Vomit. You know.
So that was only your turn,
Yeah,
right?
that's great. I see.
So
I felt like
we're-
I accomplished a lot, but I also felt like a lot happened.
Yeah. So we're. I like that you moved that guy so
So
that he could
positive.
shoot the two of you. That worked out really well.
Well, that's fair. Well, we are lining up a good shot, and again, if that's going to be our second one that we take down. Oh, we've only taken out one. Oh,
Only taking out one.
Ooh, okay, all right.
But this is only round 2, so we're fine.
All right,
We
Joey.
got plenty of time to
So you're
die.
cool. Buff us up.
So you spawn a bad guy, please.
If I have to.
You have to.
All right, so we're grabbing a gobber.
And the card is red, so we grab a red one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Red
That's
one.
you.
And then in the sixer.
And the 6. There you go.
Hi there.
You're just protecting our flank at this point.
I can imagine this guy's face. Oh no.
He
He made a terrible mistake.
he thinks he can handle it. Okay, so what are you gonna do besides heal him?
I can't heal either of you. Either of us. We're corroded.
Oh, and you don't have any get rid of corrosion?
I don't.
Oh, fantastic. That's just.
So if you're
double-
corroded
oh.
at the start of your turn, you roll a die.
Yeah,
if
you-
it's a 1 or 2, the token goes away.
Right. So let's see if if it dissipates.
It doesn't.
Of course.
You personally can discard any feat card to get rid of 1 corrosion token. So you could get rid of your own corrosion token and then heal yourself selfishly. That's something you could
that's
totally
really
do.
not what I would like to do. I'm almost
Now,
wondering if I should
here's
attack
another
this-
crazy trick that we haven't explained this to people. You said you read it,
That's
but no one
right.
else knows what it says. Now, unfortunately for you, there's no corrosion clearing cards in
Yeah.
anybody else's decks. But what this card says, and it's one of the wackier cards in the game, it says he can discard a feat card to take the top card off of anybody else's feat discard and play it as if it's his card.
Ah, very nice.
If he chooses not to play it, he puts it on top of their deck. Right? That's what that
Yes,
says?
yes.
Because I changed that a couple times
So
during
I could
playtest.
like give you Gourds
So
of Plenty
he
back
can
to the
regenerate
top.
your Gourds of Plenty, but he can also
I would drop my feet to do it.
he can also say I throw a gourd,
Oh, cool. That's great.
or he can if you have a boost. If he has a boost over there, you can play your card that's not a boost to get his boost. So you can tap into everybody else's like who they are.
So
to-
your options are you could burn your feat card to get rid of a corrosion so that you can heal one of us.
no, only his own. He can only
Only
discard
my
his own
own,
feat
your
card to
own.
get rid of corrosions.
Oh, got
He
it.
can't.
My own corrosion token.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a potion if worse comes to worse.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is terribly necessary.
It's not bad on
right
you right now. It's bad on him, but
I'm
you can't do
almost-
anything about it.
I'm almost willing to just save my feet
Sure.
and
That's
go
fair.
for an attack. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm right here, range 2. I gotta. He's not in cover yet.
And that guy's got 1 damage left on him, so if you can
Right.
get a
So
hit
I
him
could
decent,
knock him out.
you'll be halfway to Gators.
He's got a defense of 11. My attack
You
is
need a
5.
6.
I need a 6.
You've still got a
I'm
card,
with
so
it.
you can reroll.
No, this actually makes a lot of sense for me to just attack him.
All right, then go for it. Do it.
Now, can I aim a
You
magic
can't
attack?
aim because this says spells cannot be aimed.
Okay.
Because everybody who can do spells, Eilish coming out in Black River Regulars, and Lanissa Russell, who's one of the stretch goal heroes, they're also, she's an ice sorcerer.
Okay.
Since spells are sometimes very powerful, you can't aim them, they're not regular range attacks.
Makes
Right.
sense.
So in this point, if you're not declaring movement, you're just gonna walk
I'm actually gonna hold.
and hold.
Well, you might as well declare walk because holding doesn't get you anything. And walking says after you kill that
You-
guy, you can move 1
I was
space
gonna
or
say you
whatever.
could kill him and then you walk out of the line of sight for whoever's gonna be venoming us. 'Cause
That's true.
whatever-
Yeah, yeah. I should back into.
You can move
Since
into
I can't
Scarred
heal you,
space.
I might as well move into Scarred.
Safe. Move into the safety.
Okay, I've hit.
Okay. Power 7, armor
armor
13.
13, so
you
I
need
need
a
7.
7. And then he'll be dead.
Got it.
Hey, perfect.
So put a XP on both, please.
Fantastic.
Nice.
So now you guys are halfway to the Gators.
And then move me
And then you walk there.
to that
Come
gentleman.
To me. Come to me.
These are your dice.
You don't want to be in your own space. No, then you'll get charged. Well, you might get
Well,
charged anyway.
and I'm thinking. No, this is probably for the best.
So you have not used a feat card this
did
turn.
not.
So your second win triggers.
That right?
Some second wins trigger 1 time, like yours.
Right.
Some second wins trigger depending on what you do.
Got it.
Yours triggers every time you end a turn in a space with 4 guys.
That's
or
partially
more.
why I did that. Because
Wow.
that's actually
Yeah.
rather effective. What I did do, and then I got my feats back too.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can.
Did you get one of your
Nope.
cleanses? Nope. There's only 2 cleanses in there. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
Although it'll be fine.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Guys, I got this.
So villain action card says
Bird.
pressure point. Activate the villain closest to you and reshuffle the villain action deck after discarding. We're not going to do that right now,
Okay.
but there's 2 of those cards in every deck, and that makes the deck even more unpredictable.
Right.
So in your
Nice.
regular game, you could have had drawn all the blue cards
Right.
and then reshuffle all the blue cards right back in. So that says villain closest to you. So this is you.
This guy.
So Shambler is closest. Shambler says, "I want to charge somebody because that's his rush is his second tactic." He's 1 away from these guys
What's
and
his- what's
2
his,
away, 2 away from there.
His tiebreaker is
What's his
highest
tiebreaker?
armor.
He's gonna move in this space anyway.
'Cause it's you.
And then his tiebreaker is highest armor, and Skarg has much higher
Well,
armor
1.
than you. Well, yes, that's a lot.
Yeah, I guess it is quite a bit.
So he's charging Skarg, Artharn.
Okay, and he's got an accuracy of 4.
He's really bad.
Yeah.
So you're being attacked.
Oh, yay.
So player to
So-
your left is gonna roll. So you get to roll bad guy finally.
All right. You just need to
Roll really high. It'll be awesome.
Just
Just 2 dice.
Just 2 dice.
Just 2 dice.
Oh,
And that is only a
5.
9. And
Very
your def is only
nice.
12. But
You still managed to avoid it.
yeah.
Good job.
So that was your 1 villain.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
we got off easy
So-
on that round.
Yeah.
So now we got Rob. You got to
You're
roll
gonna-
us a spawn.
You're gonna spawn.
why does this always feel like the worst part of it? It's like
You're
never
gonna
know
get a
what's
6.
happen.
It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, 5.
Close.
Over here. So
Close.
Shambler comes in.
Yep.
All right.
Shambling in from the rocks.
Shambling in. Alrighty. So
You've got a couple clear.
I would have to move to hit that misspeaker.
which yeah.
You would have to
But-
hoof it to reach that misspeaker.
Yeah, because you can't shoot diagonally through the.
Because you
Oh,
can't cut
right.
the
That's
trees.
forest. You'd have to hoof it into the puddle.
And I have a guy here.
Which is, we could teach people on the stream how free strikes work if you leave the space.
You know,
We're here to teach people rules.
That's true, and I'm
I mean,
okay with that.
You guys
So-
can try and win as hard as you want.
Now, hold up. If you move into Olo space, your distance to hit that guy is then 3, correct?
I would
you
have
move
to
in-
hoof it. To
Because
hit
1,
that.
2,
Hold up,
3.
hold up.
Yeah.
If he's in Olo space, his distance would be 3,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because I do have a feat that can extend this by
No.
range 1.
Melee. Right?
It just performs an attack. Is this
Oh,
supposed to be melee?
okay.
I'm sorry. Then it says the character's melee weapon
yeah.
is
yeah.
range
I,
1.
th- I was almost positive it said melee weapons.
You're right, you're right.
Because
My
it,
bad.
Good try.
it makes
Well,
lightning
I read the
shoot
first
off
half of
your
it and
sword.
got really excited.
Yeah.
No, I know that would have been
Now
so great.
you
No.
you have feat cards
True.
that say you can ignore trees when shooting. So if you had that feat card, you could diagonal that tree.
You're making me all excited.
I know.
And it's not here.
I know. Well, there's a couple of ways ability cards work. You can get brand new abilities like this one.
Right.
You can get abilities that say you can play any feat card as if it is feat card X.
That's great.
And then you can get cards that say when you play feat card X, something better happens.
Right.
So you could take an ability card that says all of your cards count as whatever I called the one that lets you ignore trees. We'll find it eventually.
Right.
So remember, you have to deal double damage, super damage, in order to get rid of that shambler that's in the space with us.
Exactly.
You have a high defense.
Oh, that's not hard for
You
him
have
at all.
2 characters who are going to charge you if they ever get activated, and it's going to hurt. Probably going to hurt me, mostly.
Probably.
But the
Probably
point is
frog.
that you have high defense characters there that are going to charge us from the puddles, all right, and from the forest too. Now that I look at it. So
Well,
I
he
would-
can't charge out of the forest. Rough terrain prevents
That's right.
charging
that's
out
fair.
of.
So I would not worry about the misspeaker right now, and I try to plink one of those spear handlers, those bog trogs, because they are going to do damage to somebody. Again, probably me, and it would be nice to not die.
True.
I recommend the one in the puddle. I mean,
This
the one
one?
that.
Yeah, that's what
One
I was
over there in
thinking.
the
That's
puddle.
what I was thinking. So, and if I stay here, with my blur of motion, I'm holding.
But it says instead of aiming, and you can't aim when there's a bad guy in your space.
Yeah.
So you can't blur
Always.
motion either.
That shambler is messing
You can
up
still
so
precise
much.
shot.
I could. Yes.
You might be
And-
able to kill the Chandler.
And you have another ability in your deck that if you punch a guy and kill him, then you can spend a feat card to shoot. Skarg is kind of a machine gun if you build him correctly, but he needs to
I
kill
don't-
things to keep
I don't
shooting.
think you're going to. I don't think you're going to kill the shambler with the punch.
I don't think so.
So I think a precise shot to
Well,
knock out that.
I have
that
pretty
bog trog.
high. My accuracy with my bow spikes is 6.
But it's the power that
is
matters.
7,
You would need to
yeah,
roll
so-
a 10 to
You
kill that
roll-
guy on the
yeah.
damage roll.
Yeah, true. So
Just walk out of the space.
you really want me to?
Yeah.
I always think I would.
We'll do a free strike.
Now,
Let's
Yeah,
at least
we'll teach-
demonstrate
we'll teach
what it
people
is.
what
Let's
that
show
is.
the viewers what
would
a
it
free
be
strike looks like.
beneficial for me to move here?
Well, there are spray attacks.
I'm okay.
Sure. Yeah, you're fine.
Sure. So we'll
So
do
move
that.
there.
So we'll do that.
So when you leave a space with villains,
Right.
you roll 1 die per villain. If that die roll, any of those dice rolls show up 5 or 6, it is 1 damage per die. So you roll a
That's
die.
really
This is
simple.
your free strike.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So if you get a 6,
5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Of course it is.
You get stabbed as you leave.
Eh.
Your spell says heroes don't take free strikes in your space. So if you were to cast that spell, people could just run through your space and not take free strikes. And then remember, it is per bad guy. So if there were a bunch of swamp shamblers, you would have rolled like 4 dice or whatever.
So that would not have been very smart to do that.
Yeah,
So-
and then certain things like tatzelworms. Tatzelworms say free strikes on them because they're snakes and they'll coil around you
Yeah.
are 4, 5s, and 6s.
Right.
Tiny things like gobbers and the hero Pog in Undercity, they only generate and take free strikes on 6s because they're so small. So there's
That's
little
the tiny
things.
ability.
Yeah, there's little things that modify those things too.
All right, so I am going to use my precise shot to roll 3 dice because he is in the water.
Do you want to play shootist and do fast draw also to let you draw 2 feat cards at the end of your turn instead of 1?
Yes, I do.
Why is he
Combos.
giving him
I
all
know,
the
he's-
good
he's-
advice? And
He
It's-
gives me all the
It's
death
funner to
advice.
kill. Sir, like once you start,
because you're
he's
the
got
frog.
something
I
out
think he's
for
covering
you.
Olo.
once
Yeah,
you
he
start
doesn't
the
like
joke,
Olo.
I was gonna say
the
I think-
running gag is better.
It's because you're the frog. Let's
Guys,
just go ahead and say it.
everyone's got to pick on the bullfrog. Brr, brr. Froggy don't like being picked on. So, well, all right. Well, let's.
Roll your dice, dude.
Frog voice.
Or he's gonna keep going.
Hey, if we're gonna keep role playing, if he has to tell you exactly what his character was feeling when he did that, then he has to talk in frog voice.
That's
No
true.
problem.
That's true.
Okay, so you're
Sorry,
playing
so,
shoot us.
So
Olo
shoot us,
don't
yes.
like being
And
So
stabbed.
discard. So now you get to choose 2 archery skills.
2 archery skills. So we have precise shot and the fast draw. Okay, fantastic.
So you can add another die to your attack or damage
Yep,
roll, which
which
you
I
want to
will.
do attack roll
I
because
do.
he's got cover,
Yes, I do. So.
and he's a 14.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
Very nice.
But it is drop.
And it was
is
super
drop the
effective.
lowest. But
I think
yeah,
we're safe.
I think you. I'm pretty sure you got him.
It was a
And
very
now
precise
2 dice.
shot.
2 dice for the
Power
damage.
8 versus armor 12, so you just need a 5. And you
Nice.
do. So that
Alright.
guy's dead, so we get another XP.
Ooh, keeping this place
And
clear
now-
of bog trogs.
And now you're doing your feet draw, right?
And now you're
Actually-
now your fast draw. If your turn's over, since
I
you did
could-
walk and you did shoot.
Now I incapacitated a villain with a ranged attack, so I
Yep.
can discard my other,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know if I really want to do that.
You could.
I could.
Snapfire says if you incapacitate a guy, which if you just damage him, he's not incapacitated, because incapacitated is the word for kill.
Okay.
And you can spend a feat card to do it.
Right.
So it is a resource. It's
Which
pretty
means
resource intensive.
True.
Which means you'd have to go after the Shambler?
I can't because I would have to discard another feat to do that.
He has feat sniper that says
see.
he can discard a feat to shoot into spaces with
Oh,
friends.
right.
So if he burned a feat to shoot and a feat to sniper, he could shoot that shambler.
But he only has
Okay,
one.
so we got
You only
one.
have
Yeah,
one
yeah.
remaining.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have no one within range 2 that isn't in a space with a friend,
Exactly.
so your turn's over, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
So draw your 2 cards instead of 1 because of fast draw.
Pew, pew.
And villain action.
And then we will see what the villains
Hey,
do.
there's Keen-Eyed. Here we go.
And that's the one that ignores trees.
There we go.
I knew we'd find it eventually. So, spear fishing. Activate up to 2 spear bog trogs closest to
Oh,
you.
thank you.
There are no spear bog trogs and whatever. So, there are 3 spear bog trogs. Closest to you is 1, 2, 3, 4 for both those guys. And then 1, 2, 3. So we know he's going to go.
Right.
We have to choose between those 2, and the color's red, so it's going to be that guy.
All right.
be gentle.
So,
Oh, be gentle.
this guy
no, it has to be this
is
guy? That's sweet.
is
He can't charge.
more than
Yeah.
2 away. So all he's going to do is walk 1 because he's
Perfect.
not 4 or
And he
more
can't
away.
charge out of the woods.
And this guy cannot charge out of the woods. Now we were talking about slight differences in updating the rules. So
Yeah.
the rules are the core rules of the Iron Kingdoms adventure board games. So there is one small rule that says if a guy would like to charge and can't because of rough terrain, but everything else he would need to do to follow that tactic is possible, he will just walk instead.
Okay.
So following the rush tactic, he would walk. He wouldn't get the boosted damage roll, but he would still do everything he would do to try and get somebody. But since he would have to charge to get to you, he can't charge out of here, so he just steps out following the pursuit tactic.
Okay, so what was the original rule?
The original rule was if they can't follow any of the tactic, they don't do any of it.
Oh, so that he would actually sit there.
No, he would just move on to the next tactic like he just
Oh,
did.
I see. Onto the next.
Their
okay,
last
okay.
tactic is always
I get
move
it.
toward a hero, so
Yeah.
they always do something at least. But since this one has a lot more rough terrain, I added that slight skew, which
I
then
get it, yeah.
it becomes retroactive in Undercity that says if they can walk to follow the rush tactic, they will.
Very nice.
But
makes
only if walking satisfies the tactic. So he just steps out of the woods.
There we go.
Okay.
That was a good villain
Okay,
action.
so spawn for Agata. And we're going to grab a 3, which is another
Shambler,
Shambler.
a red
And it's
Shambler.
red,
Right.
and he's on the 5.
5.
Wow, that's rough. Because we're starting to get these tough guys out, and they're gonna be.
And they fight better in groups.
yeah.
So the Horde ability says if something else with the Horde abilities in your space, you get +1 to your attack and damage rolls.
Or their attack and damage.
Yeah. But it's only +1, so it makes them 5s, but that still makes them better. They're also the very first undead thing in the line.
Oh, really?
And
In Underworld and in.
Undercity has no undead stuff.
Okay.
It has some constructs and that kind of stuff,
Great.
but nothing undead. And the Black River Regulars has a Morrowind cleric, Bastion Kennett,
Okay.
who doesn't like undead. So he has abilities
Ooh.
that do stuff against undead. And the Dead Men Walking expansion is almost entirely undead things.
There you go.
Ooh, I
His
like
Bone
that one.
Swarms and Risen and
That's
Pistol
great.
Race and all
so
that
this
kind
is
of
the
stuff.
first one in the line, presently.
fantastic.
You know, but and
So-
so, of course, you guys are continuing to bring out because this is great. Once you've built a system, you can
Yeah.
just keep adding more minis,
Yeah.
more scenarios, and more setups.
Kind of
and-
their shtick.
Yeah, it's,
Kind
I'm
of.
just saying. It fits.
You mentioned the
Deadman Walking,
Deadman Walking.
which is an expansion for both games.
Right.
It has 6 scenarios, and there are 3 that use Undercity maps and 3 that use Widow's Wood maps.
Oh, that's intriguing.
One of the other things that I'm really excited about for that is side quests in the game are small things. They're a new piece of loot, or a story that can evolve over the course of a thing, or new bad guys.
Right.
This scenario, a scenario might say, when you're building the side quest deck that you pull from to fill this, throw in one of these cards like the Tatzel Worms that says, when you draw that card, 4 Tatzel Worms appear and they hate everybody and they want to kill anything.
Yeah.
Well, Deadman Walking.
So maybe you shouldn't go after the side quest.
Well, but side quests are usually bonuses too.
Yeah.
So Deadman Walking is going to have side quest cards that say, instead of playing the next chapter of the game you're playing, play chapter 1 or 2 or 3 of that game's Deadman Walking scenario.
That's rad.
So it's a real side quest, it's a big side quest, and not just
wow.
a little bit of a side quest in the map. It's a big side quest in the campaign.
That's beautiful.
Cool.
That's cool.
And that one's is part of one of the pledge levels, and it's a
get-
product too. It's not a
Yeah.
stretch goal or an add-on. It's a product.
It's a product.
But it's one of our backer levels inside the
Cool.
Kickstarter campaign.
Okay, is that coming out at the same time when
We don't know anything about release schedule.
Okay.
I do believe that for backers, we're
Yeah.
fulfilling all at the same time, but release schedule, I'm not sure what
Yeah,
we're doing.
okay, I understand.
That is
Well,
that is for the marketing guys. Somebody on the stream that has that question can ask Simon right now and see what he says, but I can't see the comments right now.
Simon's sweating.
Because I don't. I got enough.
Well,
Okay.
you've sold me.
Good way to
then.
put me on the
So-
spot.
Okay, cool.
guys.
Cool. Yeah, Simon is somewhere far away talking about the stream. I can't see the stream, so I can just throw things
I
on the
we
stream
can't-
and
we
see
don't-
what
we don't-
happens.
We don't have a live chat in front of us, guys,
Yeah.
so we're not able to talk.
Here's
about
that
it at the
wrench.
moment.
Yeah, fun times. So what is Agatha gonna do?
This
Is
is what
she,
I'm
kill
is she
everything?
gonna save Vasquez from being
This is what I'm
piled under?
Yeah.
Oh,
Things.
I want to start. This is what I'm thinking. I want to start by headbutting this guy because I have that as a feat card.
Okay.
To possibly knock him down.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Just to slow him down, and then charging
Yeah.
the
Shambler?
undead guy.
Yeah.
Using takedown, which allows me to ignore his resilient flesh.
Yep.
Ooh.
That is how.
That's
you,
a good plan.
I was
Thank
gonna
you.
Say, that was a spry turn. Way to think ahead,
So,
sir.
I know. He's had
Your-
this whole time. to
Your
plan this
headbutts
incredible
say
plan.
roll a die, right?
Yes, I have to roll to and get
And it's a
either
50. Is it a 4 or plus?
through 6.
Do it.
One of his ability cards is called Waylay. It says when he plays a headbutt card, he doesn't roll; it just automatically happens.
Oh, yes.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of tune-up action inside those ability decks.
Okay.
All right, let's see if you headbutt him. Let's do it. Roll
Totally
it on the
headbutt
mat.
that guy.
Roll it on the mat.
Oh, you missed by one.
Oh, darn.
But remember, tiny guys only free strike hazard roll on a 6, so you're pretty safe leaving the space.
So
Alright.
Oh, yeah.
risk it.
All right.
So
then
you're
I'm
still gonna charge that guy. Charge
with,
that guy.
Put it
with
up
a
on a
takedown.
6.
So you're takedowning. So roll a die to see if he manages to hit you as you leave.
And you got 8 health points.
Nope,
so-
he missed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you get 2 attacks to hit this
These
guy.
guys with their hit point pools.
My first one, because I charged, do I get an extra die?
It's a boosted damage roll, not a boosted attack roll.
Gotcha.
So he's an 11. She's a 6. That hits barely.
Barely.
So 3 dice for the damage roll.
Oh, wow.
And your power's 8. So that's a 16. So that is not a 17.
But
so
I-
that guy falls down.
But
No,
I
but he
ignore.
ignores
oh, you
resilient
ignore,
flesh.
yeah.
Ignores resilient.
Very nice.
My brain was going so I could teach you guys. So
played.
that guy would fall down. Let's say he had not chosen that ability. That guy would fall down,
Right.
and then he has this second punch that would auto hit that guy because he's knocked down. And resilient flesh
man, that would've
doesn't
been
do the
beautiful.
super damage if he's already on the ground.
Oh, interesting.
The super damage
It's
just
like the coup de grace.
makes him fall down, and then you
Yeah.
can kill him.
It's-
And he's always worth 2 XP. So you got 2 XP. Did you put any in there?
I did not.
Okay, you got 2 XP because you hit him
I
in
see.
one hit.
So a
Nice.
normal tactic with the Shambler is the 1-2 punch, where one person can
yes.
knock him down and one person can kill
Yeah.
it because it's an auto
Yeah.
hit and it doesn't activate twice.
Very cool.
But Bokers, the Gatorman Witch Doctor dudes, they have an ability on their card that says if an undead, I think it's undead, activates near them, they stand up for free and then go
Yeah, but
normal.
we're not playing with pokers.
I
It's
know,
fine.
we're not playing with Bokers. Bokers are lit.
Dang.
Don't,
Okay.
don't get,
So-
don't get us all excited.
So you did your movement and your attack.
Correct.
You technically have another attack, but you have nothing to use it on.
Correct. So
You have
I think
feat
I'm gonna
cards. Would you like to play a feat card?
The
You probably-
only one that would apply at this juncture would be Dig In, which is play this.
And that's
card to
reactive.
gain-
You can play that before dice rolls against you.
Oh, cool. So play this card to gain +1 defense and armor this turn.
Well, if you activate on your villain turn, because there's one bog
I guess
that
there's a
could
guy there.
spear. It's
Yeah.
a spear.
I'll go ahead and do that. Too.
Well, you don't have to play it until you need
Oh,
to play
right,
it.
okay.
You
Yeah,
have to
so-
play cards before dice rolls generally, but cards like that give you bonuses for the turn, you don't have to play until you need them.
All right, let's flip that
Gotcha.
villain card.
Okay,
So-
draw my card here.
Yeah, you draw your feat card. Your villain card says Remote Rumble. Activate the villain farthest from you. So one villain.
So probably a Chandler,
So
right?
this is you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This guy is also.
And that
four.
guy's 1,
Right?
2.
Or is he
Wait.
colored?
No, he's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because that diagonal's possible. And he's number 1 up there, so he goes first. So he
Okay.
would melee attack. He would walk a space and shoot. And he can do that.
He can.
We still haven't got to see his goad, which is the brand new tactic, which I'll explain if we don't ever see it.
So he goes here. Or
No,
does
he
goes-
can't
yeah,
cut the
because of
corner on the
force,
trees, so he goes there.
Yep.
Now he's gonna shoot.
And he says player with the most feat cards is what he breaks ties on. You both have 3 feat cards.
Okay.
Sorry, you both have 3 feat cards because
Right.
you're his target.
We all do, really.
So the tiebreak, the final tiebreaker,
Right.
The one with the most health.
which is also a slight change between Undercity rules and Widower's Wood rules, is the default tiebreaker is lowest initiative.
Lowest initiative.
So the player
Ah,
with the
yes,
lowest
fantastic.
initiative. And
That's
the
good.
reason we did that is because generally, and now that I've made something like 17 heroes, as opposed to the 4 I made in Undercity, generally heroes on the bottom end of the initiative have more hit points.
Got
Right.
it. Yeah. So, but it doesn't matter because he's gonna venom us and it's gonna spray.
Yes.
It's gonna hit
Oh,
Yes. So,
doesn't
I
matter
see.
really.
for example, there's a flash of
Yeah.
a figure I'm really excited about in the Kickstarter video, and it's a Bog Trog with a blowgun.
Oh.
And so Bog Trog blowgun guys, which are going to be a stretch goal eventually,
Yeah.
they have a regular range attack that just hits one guy or whatever. So that guy, if he was the guy or Tomahawk Gator, like I said earlier, he would
Right.
attack one guy. But the spray is the spray, and it always
Well,
works. So
darn.
you're going to roll his 3 dice again.
Yep. Let's see.
Take
what
out the low
happens.
one, see what happens.
Thanks, Matt.
So the low one's a 1. So he got an 8 plus a 5.
8 plus a 5 is 12. It does not hit Olo. 8 plus a 5
8
is
plus a
13.
5 is not a 12. Wishful thinking does not change reality.
Math.
So
That's good.
Convinced me. I don't know. I was like,
He was so
Zoning
so
out.
positive about it.
That's
Okay,
the power of
so
confidence.
your def is 12 and your def is 13 and a 12. 8 plus
your
5
math
is
teacher
13.
weeping right now.
The
so-
one math teacher.
So roll 3 dice again for the damage roll.
Not like that.
We lost one.
Yeah, try not to throw things on the
Okay,
floor.
I'll try.
If at all
Can't make any
possible.
promises.
and death.
Dropping a low die.
Why?
That is
That's
a
enough to kill me.
19.
Oh,
So-
fantastic. Thank you so much.
So now we can teach
welcome.
people how heroes die. So
I'm just trying to
when
help.
a
Just trying
villain
to help.
becomes incapacitated, you remove him from the board. When a hero becomes incapacitated, you knock him down.
I am unreasonably happy over the fact that it was all of us and not just
Yeah,
me
yeah.
that took him out.
Everybody,
He-
this is by design.
Uh-huh.
We planned it this way, right?
To
Right.
murder Ivan.
Just to teach
And
people.
look, it's just fine. You can use the frog as a punching bag.
Yeah.
This is clearly what has happened. Either that, or he just loves venom so much. He's just like, I just want to use it like body wash, like
Bathing
Sure.
it. Just bathing it.
everywhere.
So
You know,
that
if you
was
didn't like Venom, you wouldn't have been here in the swamps.
that was your
Did
villain
you not
action
take
card.
any damage on that, dude?
Oh, yeah. I
Shouldn't
did.
you have taken a damage?
I should have.
Wait,
No,
you
he
should have taken
he
2.
did.
It was 19.
19, yeah, that's true.
That's,
Yeah, you're,
that's
we
5
haven't
beyond.
got to him yet.
Oh.
We were all reveling about
Oh, yeah.
melting over there.
I'm not worried
So,
about literally. I'm
yes.
not worried about me.
So 19 versus 14 is barely 5 over, so you take 2 damage also.
Exactly.
And you are also
I will
corroded.
also be corroded.
Everyone is corroded. And this is our most prototypical piece. It's not at all
Right.
final.
Yeah.
We
Does
made
he take 2 corrosion tokens?
you can corrosion tokens can stack. There's going to be something like 12 in the box.
yeah.
Because the rule is you can't heal as long as you're corroded, and you can generally only get rid of 1 at a time automatically with the dice roll and that kind of
That's
stuff.
rough.
So if you want to burn a bunch of V cards, you can scrape it all off, but
Right.
it stacks up.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's
now
okay.
that I'm down, there's an opportunity, of course, we could use a potion.
We're gonna teach everybody how that works because your turn's coming up,
Got it.
and because we've done your card.
Yes.
So now we draw an event card.
Event. Ominous silence.
So it's another ominous
Yay.
silence. So that means that the poisonous fog is in there somewhere and it's not coming out yet. And there are a bunch more ominous silences because the other thing about this scenario is it's the first one because you'll notice that there's an impassable wall on the board. So I made the board a little smaller, and there's not a lot of bad guys to deal with, and the deck is pretty nice to you.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
This is going so well.
So there are 4 ominous silences, and only 1 environment is bad.
Got it.
So the odds are that environment will not stick around a long time.
Guys, to be fair, minus me getting wailed on, we're
guys
not
are
doing
doing
too bad.
okay.
You know,
We're really
You guys
not.
are
We
halfway.
have,
Third
and
round,
one of them's
right?
on the board.
Yeah, your tank hasn't even been scraped yet.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So-
like, it's just the croak. That's just really.
At the start of your turn, while you're incapacitated,
Uh-huh.
we take 2 of your hearts and we take them away.
Right, they're gone forever.
They go back to the box until the end of the chapter, which
Got
is
it.
that's what scenarios are called in this game.
Right.
You spawn a guy like normal because as long as your figure's on the board, you're taking turns.
Great.
So spawn a guy.
I'm gonna put that over here.
So 5 and 6. So
5.
a spear bog truck, and there's more blue ones. So we grab that one, and he came out back here behind you guys.
Great.
Now, during your turn, the only thing you can do is place your figure within 1 space of yourself because you're crawling, trying to get back to your friends. Like, save me,
Right.
save me in your frog voice. So if you want, we can place you over here.
Which makes the most amount of sense.
Yeah.
Being with the healer.
Yeah, so that all that the Venom dude has to do is jump 1 space in and hit all of us?
Yeah, but you know,
You're fine. You're fine.
Sure.
guys.
You guys can do this. Okay.
No, he
And then that was your hero activation.
Right.
So all you can do is crawl around, and then we draw your villain action card that says spearfishing. Activate up to 4 spear bog
Oh
trucks.
my god.
1, 2, 3, 4.
all
There are 4. There are 4 on the board.
We're gonna get pig roasted.
Red ones go first.
conveniently we have 4 on the tank.
So there's 2 red ones.
Pig.
You're still the active player. So which of the 2 red guys would you like to go first?
Well, one's
It's
death.
really-
death.
It's really good.
well,
start with
but this guy,
Yeah.
this guy has 3 targets. They won't attack you because you're incapacitated.
Let's start with this guy.
And his thing says highest health. So he's
So-
going to go after Pig Lady. He's going to go after the tank.
Yeah, so let's activate
So
that
he
one.
will charge the
Right.
tank.
I'm good with that.
So you're getting attacked. So I think this is the first time you've got to roll bad guy dice.
Okay.
So
sure.
roll 2 dice for him.
2 dice. Right. So I'm gonna go over here. Here's my hit, and again I'm looking for
So you're a 12, right?
Correct.
his accuracy is a 4,
Yep.
so at 5 and 9, so nothing.
So that misses.
Great.
So,
Of
whoop.
course.
Now, like we've been talking about difficulty-wise, the game, this you're dying and stuff, so the game is hard enough. But if you guys had played this and had it all down, and you flip this card over,
I could've- yeah.
these guys have an ability called Assail, and he gets +1 to charge, attack, and damage rolls.
Right.
So that his spear is a little sharper, and he can
Right.
stab it better.
Right.
So they can become better when they charge.
So now let's activate that one, right?
So this one's also going to go after the Pig Lady,
Yay.
After
Me.
Yeah. So a 6.
and that's a 6.
Plus
Two-
5.
Which
Two,
is
right?
plus 4
Four.
because they're
Yeah.
not the epic versions. So yeah, so that's a miss.
Oh, wow.
So that's okay.
Fantastic.
A lot
So
of-
then we activate another blue one, and we're going to activate this guy over here.
He's also going to charge with the highest.
He's going to charge highest health.
Fantastic.
Just bring it.
Whoa, that'll hit.
That one's going to
That hits. So 3 dice for the damage roll.
Yep. Because it's
I think I
charging.
stole your die earlier.
So we're looking
So
at.
that is an 11 on the dice
Yep.
plus 9.
9.
That's a 20.
Can't
That's
do 2
exactly
damage.
5 over.
Jeez,
You have an
Louise.
ability card in your ability deck that says when you're in a
Oh, I
space with
took
a.
damage. So I actually have another thing. So finish your sentence. and then
Did
I
you
have
choose
another.
tough last time? That's a great strength. You have to choose it. You chose takedown, so you don't get tough.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Because some cards add new choices to your
Got it.
menu.
I understand now.
So tough is that thing I said Gators have. You roll a die when you take a damage,
Right.
5 or 6, you would subtract 1 from it.
Right.
So that would have made that damage 1 instead of 2.
Gotcha.
Also, you have a fun ability card that is if you're in a space with villains, you get +1 armor just because you try harder not to get hurt.
Great.
So that would have given him 16 armor, which would have not made it
Not
5
made it
over.
a super damage hit.
So then this last guy's going to go. And
He's also going to
one of the last things I'll teach you guys probably this entire game is that there's a capacity limit per figures.
Okay.
And I tried to make it basically how many could physically fit in a space, and that number is 7.
Okay.
Big things, large bases like the Tasselworm in this game, and the Heavy Warjacks, and the Monstrosity in the Undercity, and the Ironback Spitter, and that kind of stuff that stretch goals in the campaign. They count as 2 figures.
Got it.
So there are 6 things in that space, so this guy can move in there.
Oh, of course.
If for some reason we would still have another guy to activate,
Right.
nothing in this space is valid anymore,
It's
so
a-
he ignores it.
Yeah.
We're just
So
having
that
like
would
party.
let you get attacked. But now he can punch everybody.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, including us.
But
including,
us.
well, not you because you're incapacitated. You can't be damaged
so
in any
just
other way.
Joey. Okay.
All right, so here we go. Here's your hit. Sorry.
Yep.
Here's your damage. Sorry.
So that's another double
12.
damage. That's
Yeah.
21.
Jeez Louise. What did I ever do to you?
So you have another ability card because I'm doing this as spoilers for the stream also.
Right.
So I'm going to keep mentioning all the ones I can think of. You have one that says when you become incapacitated, you savagery the space. And if you kill somebody during that move, you can play one of your snacking feat cards to heal yourself. Normally, when you're incapacitated, you can't heal yourself with your own
Right,
cards.
but that one can.
But she's like so angry that she got beat up that she just lashes out and then eats people.
Yeah,
Love
makes
it.
sense.
That's so
Okay,
great.
so that is your turn.
Yeah. That
So
was
now we're gonna
fun.
show you guys how you fix people.
To be fair, I have
No,
a feat
I don't
card-
need to
do have a
fix
feat
him.
card
You-
I'm
that
kidding.
does a lot- no, I'm a hero does not work in these.
I'm a hero
circumstances.
doesn't work when you're incapacitated.
All right.
You can only be healed by an alchemical restorative.
Got it.
So your turn, first of all, and we forgot, roll a die to see if you get a 1 or 2.
Right.
To see if, and you too. Nope.
Yep.
See if yours goes away. Yours
Yay.
does. So you're not corroded anymore. Just set it aside. So we're gonna. This might not be the best thing to do in the circumstances or whatever, but to show people how the game works,
Yeah.
we're gonna have you use your action and your alchemical restorative.
That's my action, huh?
You
All
yep.
right.
You pour it on your friend and you like rub it in, and all your
He's
hearts.
all bumpy.
Oh, yep, and
Slimy.
very slimy from
Froggy.
corrosion. So all your hearts turn back to red. And now you are not incapacitated anymore, you're just knocked down.
It's a fairy.
And when you're knocked down, you can spend either your action, your move, or a feat card to stand back up during your turn. But remember, now you're a target, and you're automatically hit by attacks when you're knocked down.
Yay.
So there's a trade-off. And one of the difficulties in the game, campaign-wise, is you only refill these on a certain die roll.
Oh,
And
got
if
it.
you want a harder game versus an easier game, you can say, well, let's make the die roll harder to refill those.
Got it.
So you've used one of these. You
Right.
might not ever get it back
In the long-term campaign.
in the campaign.
Right.
And you'll never get it back during this chapter.
Oh wow.
So,
Right.
so individual missions may sometimes be easier than other times, but one of the difficulties, and you also only heal 3 hearts in between missions. So if you're down to 1 heart, you're
yeah.
not getting all your hearts back either.
That's interesting.
So there's some long-term campaign difficulty of how much damage you've taken and how much healing you can do and that kind of
Makes
stuff.
sense. Okay.
Okay, so we forgot to spawn your guy because I wanted to teach you guys how.
Oh,
the
yeah,
game
we
works.
did.
So spawn a guy,
All right.
and we're gonna do a 6 to the
Oh,
5,
we got a
and
red.
we are red.
Okay, to the 5.
5's over there.
Alrighty.
Okay.
The Shamblers.
Then we did your action, which is
Yep.
that. You can still move, but if you leave that space,
4 hits.
you've got to take 4 free strikes. So you probably don't want to do that.
No. But I will spend my feats. One of them is called Medicate, and I can play this card to heal 1 wound on any hero in my space. For every additional feat card I discard with this card, I can heal an additional wound on that hero.
Yeah.
So there's 3 wounds back
To Pig Lady?
to Pig Lady.
Okay, cool. So Agata got healed for 3 because you burned your entire thing. And then next turn, you won't have.
I
You
won't have
might
feat
not.
cards,
Well,
but
you'll
I'll get
have
them
1, but you might not choose to spend it.
I guess at the end of this
'Cause
turn.
at the
I
end
will
of your
get a-
turn, you
I will
draw
get a
1.
feat. Okay.
Yeah. And then we draw your villain action card. And your villain action card says fish bait, activate up to 4 bog trogs.
Ugh.
You're joking.
Now it's your choice though. It says activate up to 4. So what we do then is we go by color,
Yeah.
and then we go by number. So red guys
Yeah.
and Miss Speaker first.
Of course.
Bad for you guys. It's really bad.
Yeah, it is really bad.
Okay.
No way.
So, but there's one
And
benefit.
I just dropped.
There's one benefit.
I knew I didn't want to do that. I spaced.
Scarg,
Alright.
Scarg is closer.
So he's only gonna hit
than the
him.
pile of you guys.
Yeah.
So that guy can stand there and shoot 2 spaces and hit Scarg.
Yeah. Which has to happen.
Good job. So 3 dice for that misspeaker to see if he hits. Drop the low. That's a 9 plus a 5. That's enough.
14, yeah.
You're corroded again. Give me a token, please.
Double corrosion.
Double corrosion.
Now do the
damage.
damage.
And then roll damage. 3 dice again. 9 plus something. That's
Ooh, 9 plus
that's
7?
16, right?
That's
9 plus 7. Yep.
Yeah.
That's 1 over. That's 1 damage because it's not 5 over.
Right.
That's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 1.
So that was 1 of the 4 bog trogs.
That I get to choose straight
No,
up?
because then we keep going along the number order.
Right.
And we get to Shamblers.
Okay.
Shamblers are 3.
Are not
So
allowed.
those 2 Shamblers
They're not
are,
bog trog, though, are
they are bog trogs. Doesn't it say bog trog on there?
No, it doesn't actually.
It's supposed to. That's a typo.
It says, yeah, okay. Sorry.
In the list, it doesn't say bog trog?
It says amphibious, resilient, fish,
Okay.
and undead.
Well, they are bog trogs because they're
Okay.
dead bog trogs. And like I said, we're going to catch some things because we're still improving on a lot
right,
of
they
this
are
stuff.
dead bog trogs. That makes sense.
So they are 1, 2, 3 spaces away. So they don't charge 2 spaces. They just walk 1. So they move into the forest with you
All
guys. Now, if movement for bad guys is equidistant, the active player chooses.
Okay.
So you could choose to send those guys in the forest if they were going to go 2 directions and it was the same distance. So you can kind of make decisions like that to game the system, but not very often.
Okay.
We were doing 4 guys, and they were red, and that was 3. And then so one of those spear guys tries to stab somebody. His card says highest health. 5, 4, and 7.
Seven.
So
You're welcome.
pig lady. So player to the left,
All right.
Roll some.
Let's roll to hit, which is a
and
5.
that is a 5, and that
Whiff.
misses.
That's
Nice.
fantastic
Whiff,
roll.
Yeah.
whiff, whiff.
See, that's what
So-
we should be doing.
That's actually yours.
The guys who are lower quality, there's more of on the board. So their accuracy is only 4, but they attack a lot more often. So they
Right.
hit every once in a
And-
while, and it matters.
And they're the most deadly when they're coming in for the
Yeah,
charge.
they do hit.
Yeah,
like a
and they
truck.
and yeah, charges are bad.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
All right.
So at
That
that,
was
point,
your
My
turn.
turn's over. So next up, spawn something
Spawn a
over
dude.
there.
spawn, 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 spawn. Spawn, spawn.
Hey, we got
There's
our
your other
last
misspeaker.
misspeaker.
Yay!
Great.
Yes.
One,
So
over there.
goes over
Oh,
there.
yay! So excited.
All right, Miss Speaker. Let's do this.
We gotta kill these.
Now
guys.
we've got.
So
some
you're all
options.
behind cover.
Now the
Sweet
only
cover,
way I
though.
can shoot anything in here is to spend
Is
one of my
sniper.
feats.
Yep.
And so
but Aga's got that under control.
Yeah, I would seriously go after a Miss Speaker.
yeah, that's
That's
my
Aga's.
plan.
That's her
We're
job.
so boned.
I
You
can
mean-
definitely.
We're so boned.
I
I'm-
can
you
definitely
can aim
hit.
at the red
auto-hit
guy, yeah.
I
category.
could, and yeah, using the
because
blur of
you're
motion.
down.
So no.
I'm
right?
down.
You might want to blur of motion just in case you don't double super damage him,
True.
because you'll get 2 shots. He's only def
That is
11.
correct.
Your accuracy 5. You need 6s,
But they're not aimed.
but they're not aimed.
So
You'll
they're
get 3
just
dice. So
regular.
you just
Yep,
get
yep,
2
yep.
shots.
Okay.
So getting.
But you have a boost over there.
I do have a boost.
You also have shootist, which lets you play 2 archery skills.
I could do both. Yeah.
So you could do blur and precise. So your first shot, you could get the precise, and then you could boost the second if it doesn't work.
I literally
Scar.
have no chance of hitting this guy right
You
now.
can't
so-
see him
yeah,
because
exactly, so-
you're 3 away. If you
Exactly,
walked, you
so-
could, but then you would give up
Yeah,
your blur of
that's-
motion.
That would be ridiculous.
Hold
Yes?
on one moment. We have not damaged the red guy.
You haven't damaged either of them
So
because
that
this
needs
blue
to get
guy,
flipped.
yeah, that blue guy
he
just came
died,
back.
and I
Yeah.
forgot. I was just looking at whether we damaged him, and I wanted to double check that.
Yeah.
So,
So,
okay.
so assuming that since that Miss Speaker is the only one visible, that's the target. But you're right now trying to make a decision of which combo with Scarg is going to
Yeah.
potentially give you
Yeah.
the most output. By the way, if
Exactly.
you're just joining us now, we're playing Widower's Wood, and we're about, I'd say, an hour or so in. You know,
and
hour
someone's
a half.
already died.
And I'm dead. I died once.
I
So,
saved him.
You know.
Yep.
And we've got a little bit of time left, but
I think you were
We've
contributing.
got a
lot
few
to
minutes
his
left
death,
in the
though.
stream.
Yeah, so we can try to see if we can at least get one more down.
Well,
Yeah.
at the end of this round, we're going to just pretend like you guys did it.
Sweet.
okay.
Yeah.
I like pretending like I win.
So,
All right, so yeah,
yeah.
let's do the shootist.
Tony will do a special effect because Tony's awesome. And then it will be like 15 minutes later on the screen, and we'll all look older.
Yeah.
So,
I'll need
We'll all get
glasses.
beards.
yeah,
We'll, get literally
we'll
like
gray
that
our
type
beards
of-
out a bit more. So let's do the shoot us blur motion combo.
Let's do that. Yes, let's do that.
So then you can precise shot also.
all right.
So your first attack is add a die, drop the low to the attack roll, or
Now-
damage roll because you only need a 6.
Yeah, because with him, I don't need to be as precise as I do with damage. As
Yeah.
I do with damaging. So let's do the
Defense 11.
Two. All right.
'Kay.
And- all right. Here we go.
Oh, here's another trick though. You have that knockdown still. So do precise on the first shot because it knocked that crippling strike says after you hit a guy, you can knock him down, and then your second shot will auto hit him because he'll be knocked down.
That's
So,
a good point.
so roll your precise shot, 3 dice, drop the low.
all right.
You need a 6.
Knock him down.
You got a 6, you hit him.
Totally.
Now you might kill him in one shot with your damage roll because you're POW 8, I think, and he's arm 13.
Arn 13.
Yeah. Now it's 2 now.
It's 2 dice.
Yep. So
Maybe 18 too.
And that is an 11.
that was awful.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a reroll? You do
I
have
do
a
have a
reroll.
reroll,
And you can roll,
so-
reroll any number of dice, so
Burn
you can
it.
reroll the 3.
I'm gonna re-roll all of them.
Yep.
Yep.
Burn it.
And that's a
Better.
7, so that's a 15, so that's 1 damage.
All right.
So
the
flip the
red
red guy's 1 heart.
Right.
Now you play Crippling Strike, your feet card. You're burning a lot of feet cards, but it's
true,
working.
true.
And then he falls down because you shot him in the knee or something. And now your second blurred motion shot automatically hits. You just roll damage.
Yep, so just roll the 2.
And 8 versus 13, you don't have to roll very high to do 1 damage and kill him.
That's
So
true.
6 up.
Or roll terribly.
6
No,
is
that's fine.
That's
6 is
exactly
6
what you
works.
needed.
6 is
You
exactly
killed that guy.
what you needed.
We
Hey,
killed that
I'm
guy.
good. All right, then.
And earlier when we went off the air or something, you guys had already killed another misspeaker.
Yeah.
So wow, that's the fourth. That's the 4th misspeaker.
Yay!
Yay!
Get him off the board.
Which means
No, other misspeakers can still spawn and stuff. It's just you have to kill at least 4.
that means the Gatormen come out.
Yeah. So
You guys are terrible at your jobs. We'll show you how it's really done.
when the clock
thought you were
has
saying
4
We
XP,
are bad.
you spawn both the Epic Gatorman during the next hero spawning phase, in addition to whatever villain normally spawns, and you spawn them at separate entrances.
Ah.
And then they activate just like regular villains. So there's no significant villains in this one. But
Got it.
for example, like I said earlier, if anybody's newly tuned in, those guys in some scenarios might say they act on initiative 20 and they do certain things when they activate. Like
Right.
they're casting a spell in a ritual circle and they
Right,
don't want to
they
get
come
interrupted,
in.
so they only attack if someone gets in that circle with them and that kind of stuff.
Got it.
So that was whose turn? Your turn?
That was mine.
Sorry.
Okay, so
Now I'm rolling
for
to
for
see.
the sake of speed, we're gonna not draw a villain action card.
We're just gonna see where they spawn.
You're gonna spawn. You're gonna roll a black die and a white die to spawn your normal guy,
Okay.
and you're gonna spawn a 3
Chandler
to
at
the
4.
4. And now roll a black die and a white die, and we'll call the black die the red guy. So a 4 and a 5. So the red guy spawns at the 4, and the blue guy spawns at the 5.
Gators.
And gators are much, much more dangerous.
Yeah.
They're lower defense, higher armor.
Higher armor.
They have tough, and epic gators have resilient flesh, which is a 4, 5, or 6 negates damage.
That's a POW 10.
They have a POW 10 attack, and they have bite, which says if they follow the melee attack, which is not moving,
They can make another
they
attack.
attack 2 times because
Yeah.
they bite you and they hit you with their club.
Right.
So this is gonna go well.
This is gonna go awesome. You guys are doing great.
All right. Let's do this. So
And then
now-
killing those 2 guys ends the mission. Everyone who's not incapacitated or passed out, which is the taken off the board version of dead for the heroes, generates bonus XP.
Great.
And then you guys are done and you buy new abilities and stuff.
and we go up our measly 3 health.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, you'll get all your hearts back,
Okay.
and you'll go up 3 health.
Okay.
Because
Okay,
your
so
hearts
he'll get-
your hearts equal your vitality, but your health is how many are red, and then temporarily you only have a certain new max vitality because you've passed out
Fair
one. Or
enough.
You've incapacitated one.
So
So now we're gonna savagery finally.
Yeah.
Yay, savagery!
Yeah.
So
Oh, this is gonna be exciting.
savagery says make an attack against every character in the space.
So
odds are
I'm gonna
great.
do that. I'm also gonna spend one of my feat cards to do my static feat, which is close combat.
Which is +1 to both attack and damage rolls.
Correct.
He'll be better at hitting you guys. But he'll also be better at killing fish people.
But I'm also
He's already good at
It'll
killing
be
fish
worth
people.
it. It'll be worth it.
It'll be
Yeah.
so worth it. I want to watch you
Absolutely.
kill everything, including us, in that square.
So
mean,
if
he
we
can only
if
hit-
if we
he can
had a
only do 2
rainbow of dice, this would be a
Right.
little faster. But
Right.
you're gonna roll 2 black dice and 2 white dice, first of all, and the black dice are gonna be Olo, and the white dice are gonna be Vasquez.
Got it.
Because you make an attack against each character in
They're
the space.
exactly
Oh
the same.
look, he rolled 7s. So 7 plus 7 because you added a +1 to your accuracy of 6.
Right. So 14.
I auto
Hits-
hit. Because
Well, yes, you're knocked down,
Right.
but I wanted to roll the
Added that,
dice.
you wouldn't have hit me.
I wanted to roll the dice just for the fun of
Yeah,
it because
yeah.
you were auto hit.
You got me.
So yeah, he
But
got
it
both
wouldn't
of
have been
you
as
guys.
fun.
Yes. So now you're gonna roll both those dice again, and we're gonna add 1 to the damage rolls. And which one did we say was Olo? The
Olo's
black
black.
one? Yeah, Olo, of course. He hit Olo harder. So that's a 10 plus 8. That's an 18. So that's 2 damage on Olo.
You know, all these amphibious guys, it's harder to distinguish.
Yeah, I know. He looks like a fish.
I can't
kind
tell
of.
between all the
And so
fish and
then
trolls
we got
and
5,
the
6 plus 8,
So 14.
14, which is 1
Yay,
damage
only
on
1
you.
damage on me.
Okay.
It could
So
be
now,
much worse.
now,
Only barely too. You
now
actually.
you'll do black and white again, and these 2 guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Red,
the black
black.
guy will be the red guy. Okay, sure.
Okay. And you missed one of them because
Thank you.
6 plus 3 is not 11.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
Go for it.
That
Better.
hits. So this was a 7, so
Yeah.
they're both hit. So roll again, see if you murder him. Your POW 9s and their armor is 12.
12.
So
Yeah,
those
there
guys
ain't
both
no
die.
way.
Right.
and that is 2 more.
Fantastic.
That's 2 more XP.
This is the best thing ever.
And then we'll
even
do-
though it hit Joey.
Yeah, because
we'll
you're
do
not
the-
in there.
I know. Yeah.
So we'll do the same thing.
You're not in the
I'm just over here
whirlwind.
watching. Here, I'm watching.
Okay, so that's 5.
So that's a 5 plus a 6 is
11.
11, which is their death.
Which is their
Nice.
death.
So they're both hit again.
Great.
And that
5 and
that is
14
6 and 8
No, it hits.
plus 8.
Yeah, it's enough to kill him.
Yeah.
So you kill both those guys too.
nice.
Wow, that was super
You know what?
effective.
So
It kinda was
she
worth it.
she is a lawnmower.
She is totally a lawnmower.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm a blade of grass. So
So one of
You already
and players who are familiar with War Machine and Hordes will see a lot of inspiration in these abilities. So
Right.
she's got an ability called Meat Thresher, which is the great big giant battle engine that the Pharaoh have. It looks a little bit like a steamroller.
Yeah.
When she uses her savagery with Meat Thresher, she can play any feat card as if it's snacking.
Oof.
Oh,
So-
that's beautiful.
Well, like
So
she
that
did,
your
though.
snacking cards heal you, but you can use any cards while you're just going crazy.
You literally just cleaned that tile.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
completely
I'm gonna
off.
move 1.
So you're gonna walk 1 space.
I think I should move here.
You're gonna move this way,
Yeah.
diagonal. Okay.
Okay.
You're having the time of your life right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
And the rules encourage you that we put 2 black dice and 6 white dice in. The rules encourage you to use different colored dice to do different things
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah, it
The
makes
rules aren't roll black die for that and 1 for that. It just says roll 1 die for this and 1 die for this, and if you want and you have multiple colors. And the reason we use D6s is because then you can, if you have unlimited colors of D6, he
Right.
could have made all those rolls at once and just been like,
It made it
haha.
easy. Yeah, I get it. I the multicolored dice is a great way of resolving combat quicker.
Yeah, we wanted to make the game teach people how the other games work, so we used the D6 math system of this plus that versus that.
Right.
And then we did some stuff to try to speed that up.
Fair enough.
Great.
Well, that was dope.
Now, the only bad thing about that is if you would have ended your turn in that space with 4 bad guys or more, you would have got all your feet back from your
Correct.
second win. But murdering guys is fun.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah. I'll take
So
that.
you
over
draw
the
1
four.
card. Then we're going to draw a villain action card. And another new rule in Undercity, if it doesn't exist in Widow's Wood doesn't exist in Undercity, is if a villain is not a significant villain, doesn't activate by initiative, and has no number, his number counts as 0. So he's first in line. So this card says activate up to 4 red villains.
Okay.
And it doesn't
So
say
that-
closest to you, so that gator is going to be one of the 4.
Right.
Right.
That gator is 1, 2, 3 away from people, so he just steps ever so closer to be really dangerous next turn.
Right.
He's really intimidating from a distance.
Then we go in order. There's no red misspeaker, but there are 2 red shamblers, so they would follow the rush tactic, which is normally charged, but they can still do that following
Right.
that. And now they're getting their +1 to attack and damage rolls because they're in spaces
Right.
with another horde guy.
I'm gonna play dig in
Yeah.
so that I get.
So you get a little bit
Plus
harder
one
to hurt.
defense.
And then
armor.
this guy is another guy I want to show you guys about because he's different. So his tactics are melee because he's got a knife and a pistol. Then he has this split tactic that's either set shot, and set shot tactic is aim for
Right.
villains, or rush, and that is based on color. So it's a red round, so he would want to
yeah.
charge instead of aiming his gun.
Okay.
Then, if he can't do either of those things,
Then he shoots.
he will walk and shoot, and then he will move toward a hero.
Got it.
And he has a special ability called Point Blank that says if he misses a melee attack, he shoots his pistol at you too,
Cool.
because he's armed with both.
Right.
And he's a pirate.
Little goblin pirate.
Yeah.
So with that charge, is he able to move around
he
that
can't
corner?
charge.
He can't go. You charge
There's
in
a
a straight
forest.
line.
Well, no, he's not in a forest. So charging is 2 spaces. There's no
Okay.
straight line.
Okay.
So he can charge here or here or here. So we would look at the villain action card that said highest health. Your health is
Still
7.
Yep.
Your health is 4. So he would also go in that space.
All right.
You
No big
got
deal.
it.
So we're gonna pretend like she just got dogpiled,
She did.
and
do
then
that.
and then we're gonna be done.
Okay.
So do you guys have any questions? You've played a 4 or 5 rounds.
I had one. When he gets his health back, does he get full hearts or empty hearts?
I
At
got
the end
full
of
hearts.
this.
At the end
The 2
of
that you
the
lost.
chapter.
To let us come back. So if it was like this, and then I would heal 3
Yeah.
at the end of
So
the
they
game.
come back empty.
Yes.
Yes, they come back empty.
That was a question I had. But
They come back empty because it's basically I revive. I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
as tired as
And
they were.
if you end, let's say you guys ended a turn, I mean a chapter, and you had passed out entirely, you were gone.
yeah.
They can still, in between chapters, use their alchemical restorative to heal you back to full. The only way you lose a chapter besides getting wiped out by the bad guys before you do what you're supposed to do is if you cannot revive an incapacitated or passed out hero after that chapter.
Oh, okay.
If the whole party can't keep going, then you lose. But you just reset and replay.
Right, you go back to chapter 1 because there's
no. You go back to the beginning of that chapter.
Oh,
the lost chapter.
You, as your own house rules, you can be like, we fail, we have to start over. But the rules are reset that,
But
and we
it's
provide.
It's a checkpoint.
Yeah,
not
it's a save point
it's not
basically.
Super Mario rules.
And we provide PDF trackers for all the heroes that have little checkboxes for what abilities you've bought, how much health you have, all that stuff you can download. And there's a printer-friendly one and a fancy one. So that kind of stuff.
So how many days are still left on the Kickstarter?
That is a question for Simon.
Yeah.
Simon, how many days are left on the Kickstarter?
Should definitely go into it though, because at this point, I'm assuming that we would win, right? Like,
You guys would win.
Yeah.
You guys would win. These guys are pretty tough, and they do some damage.
I'm gonna get up this turn, and I'm gonna just make up for all of the stuff that just happened.
Just as long as
So
you
14
clear
days?
all of your corrosion.
So there are
so I can
14
help
days left.
you.
We have 2 weeks on the Kickstarter.
Okay, so 14 days. So that's great, and you've already unlocked a bunch of stretch goals.
Yeah, there are
so-
3 new heroes. Victor
Yeah.
Pendrake, who's this rambling scholar who knows a lot of stuff, and he's gonna be
Rambling scholar.
he's
Oh,
gonna
that
be a
sounds
very
perfect.
like actually kind of guy. He's gonna help people, but it's gonna be kind of like obnoxious helping for people.
I like that. Yeah.
I know you like that.
I like that.
Then Lanissa Russell is our ice sorceress Nis,
Right.
and Nis have basically katanas that are called Nis claymores. And so she's going to be a magic user that's better at melee. She's going to be kind of a half and half character. Like he's half range, half melee. She's going to be half magic, half melee.
Okay.
And then Creed and Jagger are the most interesting because Creed is one of our Wolf of Ouroboros, like the humans that help the circle. He's the wolf, the reef hunter. He's got a sword and a crossbow. But he has a friend who's a big giant wolf monster.
So he comes with.
So he is.
yes.
So Jagger is his wolf pet.
Yeah.
So he'll
So
be
you
a
put
little
the-
bit like Pog and Doorstop in Undercity, where it's 2 heroes that are one hero,
That manage
kind
it
of.
together. Right.
Yeah, I'm not aware of what that looks like. Is that 2 minis?
It's
that,
2 minis.
that work
Yeah.
separately?
Pog and Doorstop are a little gobber with a wrench and then a steam jack.
Yep.
And they're
cool.
2 minis. And they can be in 2 places, but they work better being together. And Creed and Jagger are going to work kind of better apart.
Right. It's
Oh,
kind
cool.
of like
That's
like
beautiful.
the Wolf Rider chick in like Super Dungeon as well too, where it's like a couple different minis that win.
It's basically a pet class. If
yeah.
you think of how MMOs and other kinds of games like that work.
That is lovely. So how many heroes were in the core set?
There's 4 heroes in a core set.
Great.
The BRI, the Black River Regulars expansion coming out that later this year, has another 4 heroes and all their cards and everything to play with them.
Great.
It might also have some bonus materials for no quarter missions and stuff like that, and we're still finalizing what's in there. And then there are 3 stretch goal heroes. So once everything is released, there'll be a lot of ways to build a party and a lot of options.
That's you were saying earlier when you were like, I designed 17 characters.
Yeah.
So that's
And we're
that's where it
talking.
could go.
We're talking about other heroes down the line and more stuff, and other core sets and other expansion packs and that kind of stuff.
And have you or anyone on the team so far painted any of these?
Some of the guys were playing it today. There's a really, really fancy version of Undercity with 3D terrain that we've built for Lock and Load, our convention in June,
yeah.
and everything is painted and everything is 3D, and it's super awesome. looking.
awesome.
Wow.
That's rad.
This would look,
Because of course these minis, I can assume because they're such good plastic and they're in such great detail, they'd be wonderful to paint.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And
they
and
really
there
are.
is on the Kickstarter page, there's a painting guide link where one of our painters took a couple of the resin casts and painted them up to show what they look
very
like with
nice.
paint on them.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
And the plastic miniatures hold a lot of its same detail. And we're always working to make them high quality plastic. So we're making improvements versus even the miniatures that were in Undercity.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they're
Well,
fantastic.
I think we did fairly well, all things considered. I mean, we had the lovely guidance of our guardian angel to make sure that we,
I'm kind of fate in general, and I'm not for
You
or
were the
against
eyes,
you.
yeah, the
He's-
eyes of
fate
fate.
is fickle.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you guys are doing great. Oh, this thing's gonna kill you. That's
No,
great too.
he just wanted to explain all of the ins and outs.
I like
So-
to teach all the
No, you should
rules.
totally do that because it'll be a
Yeah.
really cool
Guys,
thing.
you should totally disengage from 4 shamblers right now. It'll be awesome. Trust me.
Yeah.
So, no, well, thank you.
Thanks for being here,
Yeah.
all you guys from Gamerati.com,
Yep.
and we appreciate it. It was fun. And this has been the Widower's Wood stream. Check out the Kickstarter at widowerswood.com. And for 14 more days, you can still back it and unlock stretch goals and get all kinds of extra fun stuff in the game. And we thank you for watching. This has been Privateer Press and me, Oz, and the guys from Gamerati. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
It's your fault.
It's
It is
all
not
his
my
fault.
fault.
He rolled most.
No,
of
you
them.
all rolled.